Canada. He's told Prime Minister Carney he'll impose a 35% tariff on imports August 1st if they don't make a deal before then. Still, Goldie Hyder at the Canadian Business Council says his country probably will not retaliate.
I think we have to be very careful to say to one country, tariffs are really bad, and then put them on your own citizens. So I would expect that to be a last resort. The strategy that seems to be pursuing is one of there will be no tariffs at the other end because Canada has a special case to make.
New research finds it's never too late to get a move on. CBS's Michael George.
Being physically active as an adult lowers your risk of death by 30 to 40% later in life. A study published by the British Journal of Sports Medicine found people who were consistently active got the most benefit. But even people who did not exercise but started becoming more active had a 20 to 25% lower risk of death.
Dow futures down 285. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WICC 695.9. Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Connecticut is receiving over $8 million from new opiate settlements. The money is Connecticut's share of a $720 million settlement between a coalition of states and 8 generic makers of opiates and related products.
We still have other manufacturers and people who are dispensing pills and opioids that we have to deal with and go after and hold them accountable. We've got to push this money out there to treatment and prevention and addiction science and make sure this money gets spent well and effectively.
Attorney General William Tong says the companies in this settlement have been part of an overall problem that continues to kill thousands of people across the country. Yale University has been deemed as an undesirable organization by Russia. The move essentially serves as a blacklist and bans any Yale-related activities in Russia. The country cites efforts by a Russian opposition leader who founded the Anti-Corruption Foundation at Yale and says its graduates are extremists. Yale indicates that it has learned of the news reports from Russia on the matter, but has not received any official notification. DraftKings is agreeing to return $3 million to 7,000 consumers in Connecticut over marketing tactics. The gambling company has agreed to the settlement over allegations that it may have broken state gaming laws with its advertising and marketing practices. The payout will go to consumers who participated in bonus offers that promised either a deposit match or a bonus. Affected customers will be alerted by DraftKings to the settlement in the next 60 days. Stratford police are trying to locate anyone who may have known the victim who died on a July 1st crash on Ferry Boulevard. Police say they've not been able to locate any relatives of 75-year-old Stephen Farrick of Bridgeport. They say Farrick only had a flip-style phone with no contacts inside, and the only recent incoming calls were spam. Anyone who may have known Farrick is asked to contact Stratford police. For the Voice of Connecticut WICC, I'm John Kamal.
Right you are, John. Brought to you this time round by Courtesy Carpet Flooring Design Center. Hey, now's the time for a fresh new look for your home. Save on top flooring brands at Courtesy Carpet. No big box gimmicks. Just fair, honest prices. Courtesy Carpet. Check them out. Route 111 in Monroe.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Southbound on the Connecticut Turnpike, right around exit 4 as you approach Greenwich. It's a disabled vehicle in the right lane on the Connecticut Turnpike. Parkway in great shape. No problems I'm seeing anywhere else. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes. on WICC.
Any early clouds give way to sun by late morning and midday. It'll be a brighter afternoon, very warm with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog moving in overnight. Partly cloudy and mild with low near 70. Partly sunny and warm Saturday with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Fioric on WICC.
Here at Stanford Health, expert care begins with a conversation where big innovations are helping the tiniest patients in our NICU. And mental health means community health. Here, we're collaborating with world-class partners like Columbia University Irving Medical Center, Dana-Farber Brigham Cancer Center, and HSS to redefine cardiac, neurological, cancer, and orthopedic care. From the everyday to the complex, Stanford Health. Care. It's different here.
Get to Citi Field when the New York Mets take on the Cincinnati Reds Friday, July 18th through Sunday, July 20th. Stay after Friday's game for a spectacular fireworks show. On Saturday, witness history as David Wright's number 5 is retired and he's inducted into the Mets Hall of Fame in a pregame ceremony presented by New York Presbyterian. And on Sunday, the first 15,000 fans will receive a David Wright bobblehead from New York Presbyterian. Don't miss this exciting weekend. Get your tickets now at Mets.com/tickets.
Now for a look at the news near your neighborhood. Melissa in the Morning takes you around the region on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
Hey there, good morning, 6:09, 9 past 6, clouds and 69 degrees as you wake up this morning. Getting you up and underway here on this Friday, 7/11, July 11th, 2025. It's Paul in for Melissa. Paul Pacelli in for Melissa on the Melissa in the Morning program right here at WICC 600 AM, 95.9 FM, and, of course, online, voiceofct.com. Let's scooch around the state of Connecticut, around the region, and let you know what's going on. One of 2 state troopers hurt by an out-of-control vehicle on I-91 in Enfield is still hospitalized with serious injuries. Police say the troopers were at the scene of another crash, 91 North, near exit 47W. This was early yesterday morning when a car hit water and started to spin. It hit a police cruiser and pushed it into a trooper, seriously injuring him and causing minor injuries to the trooper in the vehicle. Multiple people in the car that hit the troopers were treated for minor to moderate injuries. Inmates at the Cheshire Correctional Institution began a hunger strike over conditions at that prison. The group of 9 inmates saying their hunger strike is in protest of excessive lockdowns, poor medical care, and bad food. They're demanding the 5 hours a day of rec time that are required by law and the ability to shower after the rec time. Corrections officials say they've listened to the concerns of the inmates and that 2 have already agreed to end their hunger strikes. City of West Hartford exploring the possibility of making changes to the town's leash laws. Town of West Hartford, I should say. Now, current rules only require dogs in West Hartford to be kept on leashes while in public parks. Town officials say over 100 calls about roaming dogs have been received by them since 2023, including more than 60 involving dogs biting people or other animals. The town is now considering a change that would require dogs to be leashed everywhere in town, including when those dogs may be on sidewalks. Black bear was spotted in the city of Hartford, not far from the state capitol. Bear reported to be in a tree at Charter Oak Place and Willis Street yesterday afternoon. State environmental conservation officers responded. They tranquilized the bear. They caught it in a net and relocated it to an undisclosed location. Bear sightings have become more common in Hartford, with over 80 reported so far this year. As we continue on Melissa in the Morning, 2 boaters who were unaccounted for after their craft went missing off the coast of West Haven have been found unresponsive. The 27-foot boat was last seen leaving a dock at the Shell and Bones restaurant in New Haven with 2 people on board on Wednesday night. The boat was apparently heading for Stratford but was located yesterday by the Coast Guard on the New Haven Harbor West breakwall. Last night, the Coast Guard reported finding 2 unresponsive people in connection with the incident, but had released nothing further as of early this morning. 46-year-old woman in East Haven sentenced to spend over 4 years in jail for a deadly hit-and-run in June of the last year. Prosecutors say Elizabeth Kronk was driving without a license with her juvenile son in the vehicle when she hit and killed Gina Lavaca on Main Street and then fled the scene. Cops were able to quickly ID her as a suspect through video. A judge yesterday sentenced Kronk to spend 51 months in prison, this followed by 5 years of probation. A New Haven restaurant owner has been sentenced to 15 months in prison for improperly obtaining $800,000 in COVID relief money and loans. Omar Rajeh pleaded guilty back in 2023 to 1 count each of wire fraud and engaging in illegal monetary transactions. Prosecutors say he filed for relief loans using false representations of payrolls, revenues, and tax filings. Rajah has operated the Mediterranean restaurant on Orange Street in New Haven for over 2 decades. A former New Haven man will spend 5 years in federal prison for narcotics trafficking. Joshua Diaz, arrested in February of last year during a search of his New Haven apartment. Prosecutors say searchers found large amounts of cocaine and fentanyl in that apartment, along with a loaded handgun with no serial number. Diaz has been free on bond while awaiting trial and must report to prison to begin serving his time on the 10th of September. Dozens of inmates at the Bridgeport Correctional Center were displaced after a pipe became clogged and caused flooding. The maintenance staff not immediately able to clear the clog Wednesday night, which led to the move the inmates to an area into a gymnasium. A contractor brought in to clear the blocked pipe. 47 inmates spent the night on cots in the gym and were expected to be moved back to their cells last night once cleaning and disinfecting was complete. A juvenile has serious injuries after being involved in a crash with a vehicle while riding an e-bicycle in Trumbull. This happening last night at the intersection of Main Street and Whitney Avenue. The unidentified child taken to the hospital for treatment of what are termed serious head and neck injuries. A crash reconstruction team was brought in to investigate because of the serious nature, police say, of the victim's injuries. The driver of the vehicle remained at the scene and is currently not facing any major charges. 4 teens were injured in a single vehicle crash in Torrington. 3 17-year-olds and an 18-year-old hurt in the crash Wednesday night on Weed Road. One of the teens taken to a hospital in a medical helicopter, the others leaving the scene by ambulance. Police later confirming that none of the injuries are considered life-threatening. And finally, Friday night, high school football will be returning this fall to Waterbury. The city made the decision to ban Friday night football last year after a fight broke out in the stands during a game between Wilby and Derby. Over 40 police officers had to respond to restore order. They made 11 arrests, including 10 arrests of juveniles. City officials say steps have been taken to make sure night games are able to be held safely going forward. So Friday night high school football returning to the city of Waterbury this fall. That's your look around the region. 6:16 traffic and weather together on the 6s right here. Paulie for Melissa. Melissa in the morning on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Disabled vehicle right lane is blocked southbound Turnpike Stamford right near exit 6, and that's causing a minor backup right now. No issues on the Parkway, Route 8 up and down, and the 25A connector all looking good so far this morning. Sponsored by RD Cinto. It's time to move your office to an RD Cinto property, and you'll avoid all this traffic. Learn more at Cinto.com. You deserve it. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Cloudy skies this morning, but the sun will shine by midday and during the afternoon. It'll be a warm day with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog developing later this evening. Partly cloudy and warm overnight with a low near 70. Saturday, partly sunny and warm with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
You listen to WICC for your favorite talk, but you also want to know what's happening around your neighborhood. We've heard you, and now you're getting more news on the Voice of Connecticut. Live and local news updates at the top and bottom of every hour. If it's happening in and around Fairfield County, we'll let you know about it first. All day, every day, even weekends too. The Voice of Connecticut, WICC 600 and 95.9.
You're listening to WICC 600 and 95.9, the Voice of Connecticut, broadcasting from the Town Fair Tire Studios. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire.
At Abriola Parkview Funeral Home in Trumbull, we understand that planning for life's milestones is important. But what about planning for your funeral? While it may be difficult to consider, pre-planning can ease the burden on your loved ones during a challenging time. By planning now, you can ensure that your wishes are honored without leaving emotional or financial strain on your family. Visit Abriola.com to learn more about our compassionate pre-planning services. Plan today for peace of mind tomorrow.
The WICC 600 Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth is happening August 23rd and 24th, presented by Tri-City Home Solutions and Renai and Xfinity.
You've been hit and you're hurt. You were in a crash, and now you're also out of cash. You need someone by your side. You need George Ganem to help you through the injury and legal process. With decades of experience helping clients injured in an accident, George Ganem takes on the insurance companies to get you the settlement you deserve fast. George Ganem will fight for you. Call George at 203-713-8383 or GanemInjuryLawyers.com.
Hey, it's Steve Basso from Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and AC again. There's no better time than right now to service or repair that AC system. Even install new or replace your existing system. Did you know high-efficiency ductless systems use up to 50% less electricity? Call us today at 203-335-0224. That's 203-335-0224. On the web at BassoPHAC.com. And remember, everything's better with Basso.
Stream WICC anywhere. Wherever you go, we go. Go to voiceofct.com and click on Listen Live. Brought to you by the Connecticut Lottery. Visit ctlottery.org.
We're always in your pocket. Search the Voice of Connecticut in your smartphone. Back to Melissa in the morning on WICC 600 and 95.9.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody out there? We made it. It's Friday. Yes, the day after Thursday, Paul, the day before Saturday. This days of the week thing. Slowly I'm getting it. Paul Piorek says eventually the sun breaks through today, sunny and warm. Not a bad day. 85 for the high, Paul says, heading into the weekend. Tonight, partly cloudy, a little fog out there on the mild side, low 70 tomorrow, partly sunny, warm, high around 85. We're at 69 now. As you and I get up and underway, it's a Friday, 203-333-9422. 333-WICC. Once again, 203-333-9422. 333-WICC. Talk or text. Yes, the text line, the text screen is up and running. Had a couple of interesting text messages. I'm trying to figure out both of them as we speak. And if for some reason you'd like to look at me as I do the show, twitch.tv, search for WICC. Also, go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com, find WICC, and click on the circle there for the live video feed. I'm waving to the camera right now. The camera's not waving back, which is probably a good thing. Anthony joins us in just a bit from the Connecticut Department of Tourism. I have a interesting list here. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. I have 4 things to chat about that you may want to do out to and through the grand state of Connecticut over the weekend. Jammed up show today. Coming up next hour, 7 o'clock hour, our friend Ryan Fazio joins us from the General Assembly. What in the heck is going on with, I know we ask this, twice, 3 times a week, maybe, with Pura the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority. More controversy from, or surrounding, I should say, Marissa Gillette, polarizing figure, reappointed by Governor Ned Lamont. But now I guess there's, again, we're getting more controversy over text messages, deleted text messages. Those are 3 words you never want to see in public associated with you, right? Deleted text messages. Maybe you delete the ones all right, we don't need the string about, how much, who's picking what up at the store on the way home. But, a lot of allegations about funky stuff, we should say, with Pura and the regulatory body that regulates the rate increases of UI and their parent company, I should say, or country, Avangrid, and of course Eversource, the never-ending battle to lower electric bills in the state, which pretty much doesn't happen. I know the companies adjust their rates twice a year, January and July, but with all the other garbage on the bills, any meaningful reduction never really happens. I mean, remember, we're supposed to celebrate over $8 a month or $7 a month, which we had to fight tooth and nail for to get. So talk to Ryan about all of that and the new ranking of Connecticut on a closely watched ranking of the best states to do business in. We should be a lot higher. We're not. Why is that? So we'll talk to Ryan Fazio coming up. We'll talk to a doctor in the 8 o'clock hour regarding an alarming rise in measles cases in the country, because a lot of people aren't getting, or fewer people, I should say, are getting vaccinated against measles, and the numbers are not good. Measles, highly contagious. Amazing thing about measles and the measles virus, this is the scary thing about measles. And this is why when I go for one of my checkups in a couple of weeks, my doctor said, hey, you're up there age-wise. Let me do a test here to see if you may need a measles booster. You can walk into a room that somebody with measles was in up to 2 hours earlier, and some of that measles particulate may still be floating around in the air. But hey, let's skip the measles vaccine. That's a great idea. Yeah. So we'll be talking about that in the 8 o'clock hour. Our pal Mike Cerulli from News 8 joining us in the 8 o'clock hour to talk about this dynamic here of Josh Elliott entering maybe the governor's race. So we'll talk about that. And our usual buddy from Friday in the afternoons, Chris Caruso, former Democratic State Rep, Bridgeport and all that, will be joining us to recap the week and tell us what he's hearing both in and around the city of Bridgeport and the state capitol in Hartford. All right? So I think we are chock-full. We are nutrient-dense this morning. Highly good calories this morning on the show. At 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. We're a balanced presentation here, I think. You know what? You've got stuff that'll carry you throughout the day, some for the quick hit, but it's nutrient-dense stuff here. As it's me, Paul Pacelli, and for Melissa in the morning right here for a Friday on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
A little slow in Westport, Connecticut Turnpike southbound, and still pretty heavy coming out of exit 9 in Stamford to a stalled tractor-trailer at exit 7. That is blocking the right lane. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Any early clouds give way to sun by late morning and midday. It'll be a brighter afternoon, very warm with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog moving in overnight. Partly cloudy and mild with low near 70. Partly sunny and warm Saturday with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
No part of your home is more important than the roof over your head. Hi, I'm Eddie Griffin, the owner of Brown Roofing, your local expert for roof replacement and roof repair. Water resistant, weather resistant, wind resistant, our products offer superior protection that come with a 50-year lifetime transferable warranty. Call us today at 475-445-1195 or visit us at brownroofing600.com. Brown won't let you down.
From the beginning, they were applauded. The music that sold over 100 million records. Chicago, July 29th, Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater in Bridgeport. The music of Chicago. July 29th, Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater in Bridgeport. On sale now at livenation.com. 25464. Chicago.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
The Who's Roger Daltrey with an important message about Teen Cancer America.
When Pete and I were teenagers, we started this band. We were dedicated, passionate. Today, we are as passionate and dedicated as ever before, but we still need your help. Every hour, every day in the US, a teenager or young adult is diagnosed with cancer. That's why we founded Teen Cancer America, to fund the services and support these young people so desperately need. Please empower the mission of Teen Cancer America and empower their future.
Join Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend in supporting Teen Cancer America. During this time of unprecedented demand on our healthcare system, your donation to TCA will benefit cancer patients in the highest category of risk. Text TCA to 5612 and donate today. Text TCA to 5612 and donate now.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
Nathan has taught me to embrace the moment. Age-wise, I'm in my late 60s. I'm old enough to be his grandfather. Will he be embarrassed to acknowledge me as his dad? I think the most important thing we can do is let them know that they're safe, that they're valued and cared for and loved, and that they're important.
I knew I wanted to be adopted by him because of how he taught me to be the person who I am today. And it's coming from a dad that didn't expect to become a dad. And I feel very proud to be his son.
I was what he needed, and he was what I needed. Every day is full of new opportunities. That's what it's been about, realizing the simple things that it takes to make such a huge difference in these kids' lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care at adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. President Trump will be in Texas today. He'll be looking at the after effects of deadly flooding there. State Representative Josie Garcia says the debris has really piled up.
It's like a cement structure, so we need pickaxes, hatchets, chainsaws. We've even been using machetes.
There were clashes yesterday between protesters and ICE agents who were raiding a huge cannabis farm in Southern California. CBS News Los Angeles reporter Lauren Posen was in Camarillo.
This farm, if you're not aware, is one of the largest licensed cannabis farms in the state of California, with over 5 million square feet of growing space, and protesters say the people detained are hardworking individuals.
At the Phoenix airport, temperatures were breaking records and airlines are watching over their employees. Here's CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
For workers that are on the ramps at the airport, for the airlines, it requires a lot of thought about how you keep your operation moving and your people safe.
CBS News Brief. I'm Christopher Cruz.
WICC 695.9. Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut local news update.
Connecticut is receiving over $8 million from new opiate settlements. The money is Connecticut's share of a $720 million settlement between a coalition of states and 8 generic makers of opiates and related products.
We still have other manufacturers and people who are dispensing pills and opioids that we have to deal with and go after and hold them accountable. We've got to push this money out there to treatment and prevention and addiction science and make sure this money gets spent well and effectively.
Attorney General William Tong says the companies in this settlement have been part of an overall problem that continues to kill thousands of people across the country. The mental health parity bill was signed into law yesterday. The bill received unanimous approval in the State House of Representatives back in May, ensuring mental health care access for all residents. The new law is aimed at holding insurance companies accountable and making sure that they provide the same coverage for mental health services as they do for medical or surgical conditions. At the signing ceremony, attended by News 8, State Senator Matthew Lesser explained the changes.
There were a couple of flaws in that law we wrote in 2019. One, there were no penalties. Insurance companies were supposed to do it, but there were no fines if they didn't.
Governor Ned Lamont also shared his enthusiasm with the crowd.
We're going to make sure that there is mental health parity. Physical health, mental health, they are one and the same. They are one and the same.
Yale University has been deemed as an undesirable organization by Russia. The move essentially serves as a blacklist and bans any Yale-related activities in Russia. The country cites efforts by a Russian opposition leader who founded the Anti-Corruption Foundation at Yale and says its graduates are extremists. Yale indicates that it has learned of the news reports from Russia on the matter, but has not received any official notification. DraftKings is agreeing to return $3 million to 7,000 consumers in Connecticut over marketing tactics. The gambling company has agreed to the settlement over allegations that it may have broken state gaming laws with its advertising and marketing practices. The payout will go to consumers who participated in bonus offers that promised either a deposit match or a bonus. Affected customers will be alerted by DraftKings to the settlement in the next 60 days. Dozens of inmates at the Bridgeport Correctional Center were displaced after a pipe became clogged and caused flooding. The maintenance staff were not immediately able to clear the clog on Wednesday night, which led to the decision to move the inmates in the area into a gymnasium. A contractor was brought in to clear the blocked pipe. The 47 inmates spent the night on cots in the gym and were expected to be back in their cells last night once cleaning and disinfecting was complete. Stratford police are trying to locate anyone who may have known the victim who died on a July 1st crash on Ferry Boulevard. Police say they've not been able to locate any relatives of 75-year-old Stephen Farrick of Bridgeport. They say Farrick only had a flip-style phone with no contacts inside, and the only recent incoming calls were spam. Anyone who may have known Farrick is asked to contact Stratford Police. For the Voice of Connecticut, WICC, I'm John Kamal.
Right, you are, John. Brought to you this time round by Optimum Business. Stay ahead of cyber threats with fast and secure fiber internet starting at $65 a month with 99.9% network reliability. Visit Optimum.com/business today.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Some minor delays southbound from Bridgeport to Westport on the Connecticut Turnpike. Earlier stalled tractor trailer at exit 7 in Stamford that was blocking the right lane. That has been cleared. Free and clear right now at this moment on the Parkway southbound. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Cloudy skies this morning, but the sun will shine by midday and during the afternoon. It'll be a warm day with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog developing later this evening. Partly cloudy and warm overnight with a low near 70. Saturday, partly sunny and warm with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Hey, Joe, what happened to your teeth? They look amazing.
Oh, you know, years of root canals, crowns, gum treatments. I got tired of it all. So I went to Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. They removed my bad teeth and gave me permanent new ones. Same day.
Wait, you walked out with new teeth?
Yep, it's called All for One. They place 4 implants and attach a full set of connected teeth. It's not 4 teeth, it's a full smile. I feel like a new man.
Call Columbia Implant Center at 860-730-6020. All for One. One day, one life-changing smile.
When it comes to getting the guaranteed lowest price on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire. And when it comes to getting more free services for life than anywhere else on Falcon tires, there's only one place to go, Town Fair Tire. So when you're in the market for the best deal on Falcon tires, get to Town Fair, because nobody beats a Town Fair tire deal. And I mean absolutely nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Free on your radio and free on your phone. Find the voice of Connecticut in your app store. It's Melissa in the Morning on WICC 695.9.
Yes, sitting in here happily on the Melissa in the Morning program. It's Paul Pacelli from the afternoon show. Oh, they put the loudmouth in the afternoon or the mornings. Yes, they did. It's in my contract. 203-333-9422. 333 WICC. This time every Friday, though, Anthony joins us from the Connecticut Department of Tourism with stuff to do on the weekends. And there's stuff, let's see, out east in Fairfield County, around Hartford. Anthony, good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm great, Paul. How you been?
I'm okay. I get out of bed in the morning. All the appendages work. I can walk. The bills are paid, so I'm good. That's where I am right now.
Amen. And no reason to complain because it doesn't do a damn thing, right?
That's right. I've tried that for my 60-plus years, and nobody cares. There you go.
Amen.
All right.
Amen. I learned that quickly.
Yeah, right. Right. They say, and they all tell us, now express your feelings. Make sure you don't hold anything in. Yeah, and then what happens?
Yep.
All right, What's happening? Let's start out east here. New London tomorrow. What's going on there?
It's a brand new festival celebrating everything that New London is special for. You know, vibrant downtown community, people coming together. Got 2 stages of performers, local artisans, plenty of food trucks, which is always my jam. And they've got exhibitors in the downtown area, so they're really just trying to attract folks down there to see all the changes that have been made in the vibrant community that they've really developed there. And the marquee part of the whole event, it's the Mashantucket Pequot Fireworks Extravaganza. So this is going to be a big, exciting event, and New London's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's a real cool opportunity for folks to go out there and see the wind turbines that are being assembled right on the State Pier there on the Thames. So, good opportunity.
Now, you just outed yourself as a food truck guy. So, if there's a variety of food trucks somewhere, Anthony? Like, what's your go-to food truck? Like, okay, I've got to pick one or two. What's the one brand or type of food truck that if it's there, you will never turn it down? What is that?
Tacos.
Really?
You cannot go wrong with food truck tacos. They're always like, I feel like there is a very high floor and a very high ceiling.
Yeah. So wait, are you now saying here on the Melissa in the Morning program, do you consider yourself a taco aficionado? Is that where we are here?
Oh, yeah, that's an easy declaration, an easy one. I love tacos. I mean, never met a taco I didn't like.
Okay, glad I found that out. Let's go to Fairfield County now here, and something in Stratford right next door to us. What do we have?
I feel like Two Roads. I was always doing something special, and we're talking about it either with you or Melissa. So they're doing the Road Less Traveled Music Festival. So not only you got some great brews, but you got live music and outdoor fun. They have 7 bands performing throughout the day. They got a print shop making festival T-shirts, screen printed right there, right on the spot. Local vendor market, tie-dye station, games, stuff for the kids. So it's a good time. You're a real good time.
All right. Staying in Fairfield County here, the folks in the Rowayton neighborhood have something going on. The Rowayton River Ramble. See, I was practicing that before you came on with me. So
I'm glad you said it because I was going to mess that one up.
Well, the key thing is you have to pause and purse your lips. The Rowayton River Ramble. Tell us about that.
So this has been a community event that's been happening for more than 50 years. This year they've got live music, water rides, petting zoo for the kids, different local artisans and vendors, sporting events, it's interesting. I'm curious what falls under the category of sporting events. Is this like axe throwing, or is this like
bocce?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute,
Random thing.
wait. You can't do lawn darts anymore. Those aren't allowed. Those were jarts when I was growing up. I guess we can't do those.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
I remember that one well. They have a live and silent auction.
Okay.
So, this is a good one. And, of course, there's food. I feel like that's a prerequisite for everything I talk about on WICC.
Yes,
so,
yes.
They've got everything there from fresh oysters to barbecue. So this is a good summer celebration.
All right. And for the three people that may not know, in case you don't know, folks, Rowayton is a neighborhood of the fine city of Norwalk. And we wrap it up with our favorite AA team in Connecticut. You know them, you love them, your Hartford Yard Goats. What's going on there?
Amen. So at Duncan Park, they got Family Fun Day happening this Sunday. So everything from inflatables to face painting, food and games. They're giving out free Yard Goats merch, so it's like I kind of want to go just for that.
Yeah.
But the cool thing here that's going to be entirely different is they're having the Providence Grays face off against the Tunnelmen from Lisbon, Connecticut, and they're playing at old school historic baseball rules.
Oh, yeah.
6 ball, 3 strike count, no gloves. When an airplane flies over, people are going to look up to the sky and scream, "What demonry is that?" Old school baseball way.
So they're back. So a walk back then under those rules was 6 balls.
6 balls.
Oh.
You learn something new every day.
About that, huh?
And so the kids get to run the bases right after the game. So this is a good one for everybody.
Excellent. All right. Check all that stuff out, Anthony, from the Connecticut Department of Tourism. Anthony, thank you. Be safe over the weekend. Don't make me call the cops, and we'll chat down the road, okay?
I don't make any promises, Paul, but I do look forward to our next conversation.
All right, Anthony. Take care, my friend. Be well. Anthony with us from the Connecticut Department of Tourism. There you go. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Just to go over those, if you want to go out east, the Celebrate New London Festival happening tomorrow. New festival, 2 stages, local artisans, something I've never been accused of being an artisan. Dozen food trucks plus exhibitors in downtown, that big Mashantucket Pequot Fireworks Extravaganza, the biggest fireworks show in the state. It's been going on for 40 years. Thank you to the Mashantucket tribe there. It's a new event, by the way, so check the festival out. Again, the fireworks have been going on for decades. The Road Less Travel Music Fest at our friends, the Two Roads Brewing in Stratford tomorrow. Also for you folks in Fairfield County in the Rowayton neighborhood of Norwalk, the Rowayton River Ramble. Again, live food, water rides, petting zoo, music, and, of course, food and more food. And did we tell you there's food there as well? And again, the Hartford Yard Goats hosting the first ever Family Fun Day Sunday at Duncan Park. Inflatables, face painting, crafts, games, concessions, free Yard Goats merch, as Anthony mentioned. So free is always good. I like free, no matter what it is. If it's free, I might be there. And again, you're going to see a game between some of these or 2 of these teams that play in the area using these vintage kind of pre-1800, early 1900 rules. The Providence Grays will take on the Tunnelmen from Lisbon, Connecticut. So under those rules, a walk is 6 balls. So instead of ball 4, strike 3, it's ball 6, strike 3. And no gloves. These are back in the barehanded days. I think there's a league in Hartford that I think it's, kind of, it's not softball, but what I'm saying is I think it's like a rec league because they get a lot of PR, a lot of news stories done about them. I think for years there's been a league in Hartford that plays for a couple of months using the old rules. So check that out. Hartford, Fairfield County, and New London. All right, thanks to Anthony once again. Traffic and weather together right here, right now, WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Stop and go southbound on the Turnpike, Bridgeport into Fairfield. Westport's 18. Some delays, minor delays now as you approach Trumbull on the Parkway southbound. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Good morning. A little less humid early this morning. We have a dew point now down to 68 at Bridgeport. We begin the day 71 degrees. Our breeze light out of the northeast at about 9, and the barometer at 30.01. That will be on the way up early this morning. We'll see early gray skies. They will give way to more sun by later this morning, and during the afternoon we'll be in the lower 80s. We do run the risk of an isolated shower or a thunderstorm, but not a big deal. By the afternoon, the wind will shift from the northeast early to the southeast later this afternoon. Overnight, some fog. We'll have a daybreak low near 70. Tomorrow, again, a risk of a shower or a thunderstorm in the afternoon. I wouldn't worry about it with a high near 80. Sunday, a better day. A lot of the sun with a high in the low 80s. The breeze shifting out of the southeast. On Monday, more showers with a high in the low 80s. Tuesday is sunny with a high near 90, and then the heat will be on again by midweek on Wednesday under a fair amount of sun with a high at or near 90. Right now we're in the lower 70s. The good news, the wind is now shifting out of the northeast. The dew point has dropped a little bit. We're down to about 68, the dew point now in Bridgeport. I'm meteorologist Paul Pioric on WICC.
It's never too early to start thinking about your future as you age. Where do you want to live? Would you like to remain in your home? Have you thought about changing care needs? MyPlaceCT.org connects you with resources that can help you make a plan to live how you want. If you're an older adult or person with a disability, you'll find information on services and supports. Find the help you need to plan for the future you want. Visit MyPlaceCT.org. That's MyPlaceCT.org.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor, is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
Want to know how business gets made in Connecticut? Check out the Made podcast at voiceofct.com. It's the official companion to the Made Leadership Series. Want to stay ahead of the curve and learn from top minds? Check out Connecticut-made.com and get made.
Experience the future of primary care right in the palm of your hand. With Hartford Healthcare's HHC 24/7 app, you'll get expert primary care anytime from the comfort of home. Connect with a virtual provider and concierge team who know your medical history. Use HHC 24/7 for acute illnesses to manage your medications, chronic conditions, specialty referrals, and more. All major insurance plans are accepted. Text HHC 247 to 85209 to download the app and never wait again for care with Hartford Healthcare.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC 695.9. It's Melissa in the morning.
All right, Paul here in for Melissa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How was everyone today? You made it till the weekend. Not a bad few days coming up, says Paul Pioric there. You just heard the weather forecast for today. Like Paul said, we're already in the low 70s. The air starting to dry up just a wee bit, just a tad, just a skosh, just a pinch. 80 to 85 today, sunny and warm, maybe a little breeze. Paul said it's shifting, but the thing you have to understand here is that even when it may only be in the low to mid 80s outside, right? A typical kind of midsummer, July, August day, you're like, all right, nice day. Maybe the shorts, flip-flops, sandals, and you're there in the T-shirt or the old concert T-shirt you're wearing, or the golf shirt or the really nice shirt after that round of golf. It can get brutally hot and dangerously hot in a sealed automobile with no AC running there. It is amazing. I was talking to people about this yesterday. sadly, the hot car deaths that you hear happen almost every year. Parents, guardians, people in the car with young kids in car seats and infant seats, for some reason, just forget they're with someone. Our John Kamal took a look at that.
With Connecticut already having reached record-breaking levels of heat this year, Senator Richard Blumenthal is doubling down on his insistence that a new law be passed that requires all new cars to include an alert system that notifies the driver if something is in the back seat. Last month at a press conference attended by News 8, Blumenthal emphasized that the legislation is a matter of public security.
I am asking the Department of Transportation to issue the rule that mandates all cars to have those alert systems, so parents don't simply leave their kid in the car.
But while the pending legislation is debated, children continue to die tragically in heat-related accidents. According to the National Safety Council, 52 children died last year alone, making 2024 the deadliest year in decades nationwide. So health officials like Dr. Listy Thomas from St. Vincent's Medical Center are speaking out about other methods to ensure your child doesn't get left behind, even for a few minutes.
There is no safe amount of time. The statistics say more than just a couple of minutes because the temperature inside the car rises much more than the temperature outside. If it's like 95 degrees outside, in 15 minutes, it'll reach 115 degrees inside the car.
The proposed alarm system may provide a more technological solution to not forgetting children and animals while running your errands, but Dr. Thomas has multiple low-tech solutions you can also use.
Taking off my shoes and putting them in the back seat so that I have to look in the back seat before I leave the car. You can do things like putting your phone in the back seat. It becomes almost like a habit, whether the child or pet or anybody is in the back seat of the car or not.
And the dangers of hot cars aren't limited to being left inside. If your car has spent a long time in the sun, even putting your pets and children back into the vehicle can present a danger, particularly when it comes to metal seat belts.
Those can cause skin burns that are generally like first-degree burns. Sometimes with the metal ones, maybe a little bit deeper, but you can avoid that by, putting a blanket or some protection on the leather or metal so that it is a little bit more comfortable to sit on, and avoiding parking in very sunny areas where that might happen.
So while car manufacturers may be installing new safety measures soon, there are still many steps you can take to protect your family today. For the Voice of Connecticut, WICC, I'm John Kamal.
Thank you, John. Good look there with that professional there. Good ideas, she said. I never thought of that, but talk about low tech there. Just taking, now, I don't know if you want to take both of your shoes off, because that means that you'd be driving with a bare foot or a socked foot, and that could be a little, like I've done that from time to time when I had like a sore foot or something like that. It's a little weird, though, when you're used to having, right, a sandal or a shoe or a sneaker or a dress shoe going from, accelerator to brake pedal there. But nonetheless, one or two of the shoes off, yeah. But boy, I got to tell you, and again, I was talking about it with a couple of people here at Connoisseur the other day when they heard John's package that we just ran there, and again, great job by him. Oh God, it's one of those things I cannot conceive of somebody going through, realizing maybe after an hour or two that they left a infant child in a car. I mean, man, oh man. Now there have been times, and you can find them online where you look at that and you see it. Sadly, an infant died of excessive heat in a car, and you come to find out in some sick, twisted way that was done on purpose. But those incidents are few and far between, and they get national attention. But boy, when it happens by accident, man, oh man, how does that parent go on if it truly was an accident? Good God. Traffic and weather together, getting you to where you're going right here. It's Paul and for Melissa. Melissa in the morning on a Friday, right here on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Delays southbound on the Connecticut Turnpike between Bridgeport and Saugatuck 17. Also slow in Stamford heading into exit 7. We're also looking at a pretty good ride on the Parkway southbound. Some delays now through Trumbull. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Any early clouds give way to sun by late morning and midday. It'll be a brighter afternoon, very warm with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog moving in overnight. Partly cloudy and mild with low near 70. Partly sunny and warm Saturday with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
We all have the ability to make a difference, to come together, to change a life, to make a wish come true. By supporting Make-A-Wish Connecticut, you are bringing hope and joy to children fighting critical illnesses. Children like me. Visit ct.wish.org to learn how you can become a wishmaker and be part of a journey that changes lives. Just imagine what you can do. Visit ct.wish.org today to learn more. That's ct.wish.org.
$25,000 could be yours.
Catch the heaviest bluefish and walk away with the cash.
The Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth happening August 23rd and 24th all over Long Island Sound. Sign up now at bluefishtournament.com or area bait and tackle shops.
$40,000 in total prizes just for doing what you already love, fishing.
Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Bluefish Tournament, and we'll see you on the Sound.
Are you over 50 and constantly feeling tired, bloated, or just a little off? Don't ignore it. Those could be signs that your liver is crying for help. As we age, our liver, which is essential for metabolism, digestion, immunity, and detoxification, needs extra support and protection. If neglected, it can leave you feeling sluggish and constantly off your game. That's where Active Liver from New Nordic comes in. Available in easy-to-take tablets or delicious gummies, Active Liver combines powerful natural ingredients like turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract to help support healthy liver function. With Active Liver, you're giving your body an essential daily defense against toxins from alcohol, fatty foods, and sweets, helping you reclaim your energy, improve digestion, lose the bloat, and strengthen your immunity so you can look and feel your best again. Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Walk when they say you can't stand. Laugh when they say you won't speak. When you're recovering from a severe illness or injury, even the smallest tasks can be the greatest mountains to climb. But at Gaylord Specialty Healthcare, we're not just doctors and nurses and therapists. We're experts and specialists and leaders. And we do whatever it takes to make your recovery possible. Gaylord Specialty Healthcare. Think possible.
Now hiring for night nurse positions. Go to gaylord.org/nursing to learn more.
WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut. WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A new showdown over the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration. Protesters in Southern California clashed with ICE agents who drove through 2 pot farms in Camarillo, rounding up workers.
They're afraid to work. It's in between providing for their families and going to work, and they have no choice. They have to come out.
Federal agents used smoke canisters and what appeared to be tear gas on the crowds. CBS News LA's Joy Benedict.
I did happen to talk to one woman. She has 4 family members who work there at that particular facility, and she had heard that her brother had been taken into custody and that she hadn't heard yet from her aunt.
President Trump flies to Central Texas today to assess damage from last Friday's flash flooding that killed at least 121 people. Margaret Merrill, who lives in hard-hit Kerr County, will be pleased to see him.
I think it's awesome that he cares enough to come down here and help us and do what he can. So I think it's wonderful that he's coming.
More than 170 people are still unaccounted for. CBS's Karen Hua is in Kerrville.
More than 2,000 first responders, including a team from Mexico, are on the ground in Texas, searching for the missing.
It is a methodical search.
which ensures that every area in an area to be searched is covered and searched and that no stone is left unturned.
Kerrville Police Sergeant Jonathan Lamb. A Justice Department official is warning of retaliatory dismissals days after she was fired. Patty Hartman's job included distributing news releases about January 6th prosecutions. She tells CBS News.
I am not political. I do not serve a president or a party. I serve the American people.
President Trump threatening to tariff Canada again if the two countries don't make a deal soon. CBS's Vicki Barker's at the foreign desk.
Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney has issued a statement saying his government will continue to defend Canada's workers and its businesses in the ongoing trade negotiations with the U.S. This after President Trump announced new 35% tariffs on multiple imports from Canada starting August 1st.
Traffic came to a standstill in Paris today. Dancers from the Moulin Rouge performed outside the legendary nightclub to celebrate as the wheels on its famous windmill were activated again. The massive decoration fell off more than a year ago. It was blamed on a technical problem. No one was hurt. S&P futures are down 42. Dow futures off 323. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-230-2777 or biglou.com.
WICC 695.9. Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Connecticut is receiving over $8 million from new opiate settlements. The money is Connecticut's share of a $720 million settlement between a coalition of states and 8 generic makers of opiates and related products.
We still have other manufacturers and people who are dispensing pills and opioids that we have to deal with and go after and hold them accountable. We've got to push this money out there to treatment and prevention and addiction science and make sure this money gets spent well and effectively.
Attorney General William Tong says the companies in this settlement have been part of an overall problem that continues to kill thousands of people across the country. Yale University has been deemed as an undesirable organization by Russia. The move essentially serves as a blacklist and bans any Yale-related activities in Russia. The country cites efforts by a Russian opposition leader who founded the Anti-Corruption Foundation at Yale and says its graduates are extremists. Yale indicates that it has learned of the news reports from Russia on the matter, but has not received any official notification. DraftKings is agreeing to return $3 million to 7,000 consumers in Connecticut over marketing tactics. The gambling company has agreed to the settlement over allegations that it may have broken state gaming laws with its advertising and marketing practices. The payout will go to consumers who participated in bonus offers that promised either a deposit match or a bonus. Affected customers will be alerted by DraftKings to the settlement in the next 60 days. Stratford police are trying to locate anyone who may have known the victim who died on a July 1st crash on Ferry Boulevard. Police say they've not been able to locate any relatives of 75-year-old Stephen Farrick of Bridgeport. They say Farrick only had a flip-style phone with no contacts inside, and the only recent incoming calls were spam. Anyone who may have known Farrick is asked to contact Stratford Police. For the Voice of Connecticut, WICC, I'm John Kamal.
Right, you are John. John, this time around, brought to you by the Fairfield Law Office of Eliavson and Tenor. hey, give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give. That, of course, peace of mind. Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Nice ride this morning. Traveling southbound on the Connecticut Turnpike, just a little slow from Bridgeport into Westport's 18. We have a pretty good ride on the Parkway, just some minor volume and trumble this morning. If traveling up or down Route 8, not seeing any issues there. 25A connector and Route 7 all checking in okay too. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Any early clouds give way to sun by late morning and midday. It'll be a brighter afternoon, very warm with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog moving in overnight. Partly cloudy and mild with low near 70. Partly sunny and warm Saturday with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Fioric on WICC.
Hi, this is Leo Carl from Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan. Last year, more consumers switched to Chevrolet than any other automotive brand. Why? With more standard passive and active safety features than any other brand, plus easy-to-use technology like wireless Apple CarPlay, Chevy simply builds in more value. And who doesn't love getting more for their money? With fresh inventory arriving daily, see for yourself at Carl Chevrolet, 261 Elm Street in New Canaan, or online at carlchevy.com.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
This is where Milford starts the day. Melissa in the Morning on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everyone out there at 7:08, almost 9 past 7? Phone lines open. It's Paula for Melissa on the aforementioned Melissa in the Morning program. She'll be back on Monday after some well-deserved time off. 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. We're getting more info now on a likely retrial of Raul Valley on at least one charge, one of the charges in the case of the death of Jimmy McGrath. It's become known as the Shelton House Party murder case. We've been following it for you as best we can right here on WICC. Retrial likely coming. And also, one of the jurors at least now has decided to speak. We're hearing from a gentleman named Jim Stuhlman, according to WFSB TV Channel 3. Stuhlman was the 10th juror and the foreman in the Raul Valley trial. He announced to the court the not guilty verdict on the most serious charges. He tells Channel 3 and other news outlets, in part, quote, they, meaning I guess the prosecution here, they just didn't have enough to prove the case. He said the easiest decision for the jury was the murder charge. Quoting him here, again, this is Jim Stuhlman in the Raul Valley case. I'm sorry, Stuhlman, Stuhlman. He said, quote, there was so much inconsistencies and contradictions. Quoting him again, quote, not everyone will be happy with the conclusion. We weren't happy. We couldn't find an agreement on the final counts, but we did everything we could have to get as far as we did. The jury says here agreed unanimously on the most serious charges, murder, manslaughter, and assault. But the story continues here. They were hopelessly deadlocked on the lesser charges of reckless manslaughter and reckless assault. The judge ordering a mistrial on those charges. Now, Stuhlman claims that the jury did not even discuss self-defense, and that their decisions had everything to do with the prosecution failing to prove intent. See, this is what My gut feeling on this was, folks, when we heard it from our friend Attorney Bill Bloss yesterday, what is the state of a defense will say, well, the state of mind of my client was X, Y, and Z. What was the intent? What was the state of mind? Did Raul Valley intend on, was there killing someone? Valley was set to speak to the press after the verdict, but was then encouraged by his attorney to stay silent. Rob Sanders, attorney and lecturer at the University of New Haven. I've had Rob on the afternoon show numerous times. Talking about the possibility of a retrial on the lesser charges. Quote, it should take months, not 6 months, but months. Maybe in the fall you might see something happen. So there you go. So again, the foreman here of the jury, Jim Stuhlman, the 10th juror and the foreman, his quote here was, they just didn't have enough to prove the case. Again, the burden of proving, you know this, but I mean, obviously it needs repeating in cases like this. The burden is not, I mean, obviously the defense plays its case, but the state or the federal government of its federal charges, these were not federal charges, these were state of Connecticut charges. The state v. X, Y, and Z. State's got to prove their case. Innocent until proven guilty. Other countries, it's guilty till proven innocent, where the burden falls on the defense counsel for a charged suspect. Not here in the U.S. Innocent till proven guilty. The thought being in our system that, and again, I'm not casting this this conclusion on this case, but there are people who will say it is better, and they say it, I'm paraphrasing here, but the thinking is it is better to have someone who may really be guilty walk free rather than to put an innocent man or woman in jail. So there you have it. This according to WFSB TV Channel 3. Now, as far as the retrial goes, there is a Fox News story here that apparently the wheels are already underway for that. The state says here, according to Fox, filed a criminal complaint that could lead to the retrial of Raul Valley. That's according to Fox News Digital. Quoting here, it is my understanding that the state's attorney office intends to pursue its criminal claim of manslaughter against Mr. Valley for his conduct on the night in question, May 14th, 2022. That comes from the McGrath family attorney, Michael Rosnick, that we've heard about in this case. He gave that statement to Fox News Digital, and this story was time-stamped around noontime yesterday. So again, from the attorney for one of the attorneys for the McGrath family, saying, quote, it is my understanding that the state's attorney's office intends to pursue its criminal claim of manslaughter against Mr. Valley for his conduct on the night in question, 2022, May 14th of 2022. Quote, the state has filed an amended information, the clerk's office says. In Milford, it will likely require a court hearing. The date has not yet been determined. So we are waiting now on the date possibly for the retrial on at least the manslaughter charge. So there you go. Up to date on that. Traffic and weather together on the 6s right here, right now. WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Delayed southbound turnpike now, Bridgeport through Saugatuck 17, and getting heavier through exit 8 and 7 in Stamford. Delays southbound 2 on the Parkway as you head through Trumbull. Route 8 starting to see some more volume approaching the Commodore Hull Bridge in Shelton. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Good morning, everybody. Our dew point is dropping. It is now down to 66 in Bridgeport. Yesterday, it was the mid-70s, so humidity on the way down. All that due to a wind shift out of the northeast early this morning. We do have that northeast breeze at about 9, and again, that dew point down to 66 in Bridgeport, so a little more bearable outside. If you're wondering if it's been humid this summer, the answer yes. From June 1st through July 11th, going back to the turn of the century, this is the second most number of days we have had with dew points in the 70s since the beginning of the century. We have had 18. Only eclipsed by last year's 19. So last year and this year have been very humid here in the Bridgeport area. Right now we have that breeze at the northeast at about 7, the barometer at 30.02. We are in the lower 70s, shooting for a high in the low 80s later this afternoon. Any early clouds give way to some sunshine by mid-morning. Partly sunny in the afternoon with a high in the mid-80s, the breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog moves in later on this evening and overnight with a low near 70. Partly sunny tomorrow with a high in the low 80s. We do run the risk of an isolated shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon, but I wouldn't worry about it. Sunday generally fair with a high in the low to mid-80s, and Monday more showers with an afternoon high in the mid-80s. Right now, again, the bigger story, that dew point is dropping with a breeze out of the northeast down to 66. We have a reading of 71 degrees in Bridgeport. I'm meteorologist Paul Pioric on WICC.
You're not always near your radio, but you still want to stay informed on Fairfield County matters. There are lots of ways to enjoy WICC beyond your radio at 695.9. Stream us free at work on voiceofct.com or on your smartphone by downloading our app. And now it's easier than ever to listen on your smart speaker when you say, play WICC. The voice of Connecticut is always live, local, and free, wherever you are.
It's time to make an appointment to tour Forest Hills Milford, one of the newest luxury rental 55 and over communities in Connecticut. Step into a home where every detail is designed to offer ease and comfort. Forest Hills Milford's spacious brand new luxury apartments include assigned garage parking with elevator access and use modern technologies to bring ease and comfort to everyday living. Nestled in the beauty of Milford, close to beaches, golf, marinas, and more. Visit foresthillsmilford.info to learn more. Forest Hills Milford, home made easy.
Walk when they say you can't stand. Laugh when they say you won't speak. When you're recovering from a severe illness or injury, even the smallest tasks can be the greatest mountains to climb. But at Gaylord Specialty Healthcare, we're not just doctors and nurses and therapists. We're experts and specialists and leaders. And we do whatever it takes to make your recovery possible. Gaylord Specialty Healthcare. Think possible.
Now hiring for night nurse positions. Go to gaylord.org/nursing to learn more.
Hi, I'm Lee Gainham, that garden guy from Gainham's Garden Center and Florist in Fairfield. Do you have questions about your garden? Tune into that garden guy Sunday mornings at 8 for an hour of lively talk about your favorite pastime. We'll have weekly do's and don'ts and gardening tips of the week for our specific area, and we'll take your phone calls so we can offer solutions to problems you may be having in your lawn and garden right now. Call in and talk with me, that garden guy, Sunday mornings at 8 on WICC 600 and 95.9.
Imagine talking to thousands of local consumers about your business. You will with your ads on the Voice of Connecticut.
It all comes up to your sales rep. Here, Maria, my sales rep, try to understand my business, customize my need, and that make it different than any other experience that I had.
Real stories, real results. It's why advertising on the Voice of Connecticut works. Learn more. Email sales@voiceofct.com.
You're listening to WICC 600 and 95.9, the Voice of Connecticut, broadcasting from the Town Fair Tire Studios. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire.
The latest from Washington, Hartford, and from all over Fairfield County. Melissa in the morning on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 600 and 95.9.
And from Bridgeport as well. Hi, hello, good morning, Bridgeport, Fairfield, Southport, Westport, New Canaan, Darien. Who am I missing? Oh, the other 150 towns. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Tax scofflaws in Bridgeport. I know, shocking. I'm sorry. Let's be nice here. Possible scofflaws. Our buddy Brian Lockhart, frequent guest for a time on the afternoon show, Hearst Connecticut Media. Bridgeport's crackdown on out-of-state registered cars in the first month. Did you see this? Now, we know what most of these cars are doing. They're evading property taxes. Let's not play the game here of, well, maybe there are extenuating circumstances. No. Okay, some people may be here temporarily, whatever. There may be a viable explanation for this. Okay, but let's stop kidding ourselves. These out-of-state plates you see in Bridgeport and anywhere in the state, it's been going on for years. People registering their cars out of state because they save on paying Connecticut municipal property taxes. Bridgeport's crackdown on out-of-state registered cars fines in the first month. You ready for this? Through these plate scanners, which I'm all in favor of. I know the civil liberties crowd, well, it's Big Brother, it's a surveillance state. Yeah, it is. And once you're outside of your home using a public street or public thoroughfare, there is no privacy. Okay, so let's get that right out of the way. We talk about this a lot in the afternoon. Numerous court cases, when you're out and about in public, keyword public, there is no privacy. Bridgeport's crackdown on out-of-state registered cars. In the first month, they found 5,000 of them. Brian Lockhart's story, Hearst, Connecticut Media. Bridgeport's crackdown on out-of-state registered cars finds 5,000 in Bridgeport in the first month. Brian reads here, writes in part, just a month into a 2-year effort to crack down on unregistered or improperly registered cars, firm hired for the job by the city of Bridgeport identified in the first month 5,000 vehicles. How much do you think the city is owed on property taxes there with those? Now, granted, it's not going to be all 5,000. There's going to be extenuating circumstances, but come on. We all know the game. And this is why more and more municipalities are going with these companies. They, of course, well, the companies are only in it to make money. Yeah, nobody works for free. But if a company says, hey, we'll scan these plates and we'll hook into the municipal database and the state of Connecticut database, and we'll be able to tell you, who are likely scofflaws here, wouldn't you do it if you were losing tens of millions of dollars of property taxes? Ken Flatto, finance director for Bridgeport Mayor Joe Ganim. He says one guess could be at least 1/4 to 1/3 of them will be eligible to be taxed due to those car owners actually residing in Bridgeport. Shocking, huh? He didn't say that. That's me. The program's ultimate goal is to identify people who are intentionally or accidentally failing to pay local car property taxes because their wheels are not correctly registered in the city, and to get them to correct the situation. Now, you may ask, well, what's the rule? Here it is. Brian put it in there. Per Connecticut state law, anybody who moves from or purchases a car from another state has 90 days to register the vehicle here, while those who relocate between municipalities are expected to update their reg information within 48 hours. Yeah. And city officials suspect there are lots of households that have not done that. In some cases, because, depending on the tax rates, it can be cheaper to be registered somewhere else. This past winter, the city of Bridgeport hired Fisher Investigations out of Berlin to spend the next 2 years. So they're gonna be doing this a long time. They're going to spend the next 2 years scouring Bridgeport for cars and trucks that should be on the tax rolls. So the company began it. They only started cranking up these, I guess they use plate readers. Oh, here it is. Flatto said, quote, they specialize in a process for having staff drive around the city with scanners which pick up the license plates. And then they match those license plates with all kinds of databases. Home ownership, the State Department of Motor Vehicles. They do a thorough investigation, which can take months, by the way, to figure out whether or not the owner of the car is a Bridgeport resident. So there you go. So they're coming for you, City of Bridgeport. If you need to register your car, just get it over with, because eventually you will get caught. You may have gotten caught already. Traffic and weather together right here on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Slow going on the Turnpike southbound run 18 in Westport. We also see some volume 2 between 8 and 7 in Stamford southbound. Parkway, no problems right now to report. A little slow in Route 8 as we approach the Commodore Holt Bridge. And we're looking good on the 25A connector and also Route 7 on into the merges of 95. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Cloudy skies this morning, but the sun will shine by midday and during the afternoon. It'll be a warm day with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog developing later this evening. Partly cloudy and warm overnight with a low near 70. Saturday, partly sunny and warm with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorik on WICC.
Need metal? Metal Supermarket's got metal. Big or small. No minimum order. Cut and ready fast while you wait or call for delivery. Check out the new store in Bridgeport today at 1085 Connecticut Avenue, where we cut, bend, and shape any size of metal with no minimum order.
Hey, Joe, what happened to your teeth? They look amazing.
Oh, you know, years of root canals, crowns, gum treatments. I got tired of it all. So I went to Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. They removed my bad teeth and gave me permanent new ones. Same day.
Wait, you walked out with new teeth?
Yep, it's called All for One. They place 4 implants and attach a full set of connected teeth. It's not 4 teeth, it's a full smile. I feel like a new man.
Call Columbia Implant Center at 860-730-6020. All for One. One day, one life-changing smile.
Yeah, it's summer, but a new high school sports season is coming soon. For the most in-depth coverage of FCAC high school sports, subscribe to the Rudin Report at therudinreport.com, powered by the new Genesis of Ridgefield, located in Norwalk.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Serving my country required sacrifice. Sacrifice that changed my life forever. I remember the day I came home. Because of my injuries, this house wasn't right for me anymore. I remember the narrow doorways, the small bathrooms, the shelves out of reach when in my wheelchair. Every day was full of obstacles. I felt trapped. I remember a better day, the day my family received a specially adapted custom home from Homes for Our Troops. That day changed everything. Now we have a safe and accessible home to enjoy the freedom I fought for. This place, our home, is exactly what we needed to rebuild our lives.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. President Trump will be in Texas today. He'll be looking at the after effects of deadly flooding there. State Representative Josie Garcia says the debris has really piled up.
It's like a cement structure, so we need pickaxes, hatchets, chainsaws. We've even been using machetes.
There were clashes yesterday between protesters and ICE agents who were raiding a huge cannabis farm in Southern California. CBS News Los Angeles reporter Lauren Posen was in Camarillo.
This farm, if you're not aware, is one of the largest licensed cannabis farms in the state of California, with over 5 million square feet of growing space, and protesters say the people detained are hardworking individuals.
At the Phoenix airport, temperatures were breaking records and airlines are watching over their employees. Here's CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
For workers that are on the ramps at the airport, for the airlines, it requires a lot of thought about how you keep your operation moving and your people safe.
CBS News Brief. I'm Christopher Cruz.
WICC 695.9, Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Connecticut is receiving over $8 million from new opiate settlements. The money is Connecticut's share of a $720 million settlement between a coalition of states and 8 generic makers of opiates and related products.
We still have other manufacturers and people who are dispensing pills and opioids that we have to deal with and go after and hold them accountable. We've got to push this money out there to treatment and prevention and addiction science and make sure this money gets spent well and effectively.
Attorney General William Tong says the companies in this settlement have been part of an overall problem that continues to kill thousands of people across the country. The mental health parity bill was signed into law yesterday. The bill received unanimous approval in the State House of Representatives back in May, ensuring mental health care access for all residents. The new law is aimed at holding insurance companies accountable and making sure that they provide the same coverage for mental health services as they do for medical or surgical conditions. At the signing ceremony, attended by News 8, State Senator Matthew Lesser explained the changes.
There were a couple of flaws in that law we wrote in 2019. One, there were no penalties. Insurance companies were supposed to do it, but there were no fines if they didn't.
Governor Ned Lamont also shared his enthusiasm with the crowd.
We're going to make sure that there is mental health parity. Physical health, mental health, they are one and the same. They are one and the same.
Yale University has been deemed as an undesirable organization by Russia. The move essentially serves as a blacklist and bans any Yale-related activities in Russia. The country cites efforts by a Russian opposition leader who founded the Anti-Corruption Foundation at Yale and says its graduates are extremists. Yale indicates that it has learned of the news reports from Russia on the matter, but has not received any official notification. DraftKings is agreeing to return $3 million to 7,000 consumers in Connecticut over marketing tactics. The gambling company has agreed to the settlement over allegations that it may have broken state gaming laws with its advertising and marketing practices. The payout will go to consumers who participated in bonus offers that promised either a deposit match or a bonus. Affected customers will be alerted by DraftKings to the settlement in the next 60 days. One of the jurors in the murder trial of Raul Valley spoke to the media about how the jury came to the controversial not guilty verdict. In a conversation with Channel 3, Jim Stolman, who read the verdict, said that the prosecution did not make a compelling enough case for the murder charge.
They just didn't have enough to prove the case. There was so much inconsistencies and contradictions. Not everyone will be happy with the conclusion. We weren't happy that we couldn't come on the final counts. But I think we did everything we could have to get as far as we did.
The jury remained deadlocked on several other charges, including reckless assault and reckless manslaughter. The judge ordered a mistrial, and prosecutors may still refile those charges. Dozens of inmates at the Bridgeport Correctional Center were displaced after a pipe became clogged and caused flooding. The maintenance staff were not immediately able to clear the clog on Wednesday night, which led to the decision to move the inmates in the area into a gymnasium. A contractor was brought in to clear the blocked pipe. The 47 inmates spent the night on cots in the gym and were expected to be back in their cells last night once cleaning and disinfecting was complete. Stratford police are trying to locate anyone who may have known the victim who died on a July 1st crash on Ferry Boulevard. Police say they've not been able to locate any relatives of 75-year-old Stephen Farrick of Bridgeport. They say Farrick only had a flip-style phone with no contacts inside, and the only recent incoming calls were spam. Anyone who may have known Farrick is asked to contact Stratford Police. For the Voice of Connecticut WICC, I'm John Kamal.
Thank you, John. Brought to you this time around by M.J. Thomas Jewelers. Looking to buy or sell gold? Visit M.J. Thomas Jewelers in Stratford for expert service and great deals. Their knowledgeable staff is there to assist you with all your gold needs. Check them out. Visit mjthomas.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Turnpike, we do see delays coming from Westport's 18 into Norwalk and slow in Stamford, exits 8 through 7. No problems reported on the Merritt Parkway. Route 82 looks good. 25A connector also seems delay-free right now. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Any early clouds give way to sun by late morning and midday. It'll be a brighter afternoon, very warm with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog moving in overnight. Partly cloudy and mild with low near 70. Partly sunny and warm Saturday with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Frank Pepe Pizzeria, celebrating 100 years of a Beats.
My grandfather, Frank Pepe, didn't just create our Beats. He created a gathering place that our family is still proud to share to this day. My mother and aunt built on his dream. Today, my siblings, cousins, and I are honored to continue the tradition. Pepe's has always been about family, ours and the generations of families who gather at our tables.
Frank Pepe Pizzeria, passionate about pizza since 1925. Visit your local Pepe's today.
Whoever said all good things must come to an end did not have a Rinnai tankless water heater. Hi, this is Seamus from Tri-City Home Solutions. Rinnai tankless water heaters offer unlimited hot water for the most demanding residential and commercial applications. You can save up to $1,000 on the installation of a new water heater now until July 31st with Tri-City and Rinnai. Visit us at TriCityHomeSolutions.com. Never run out of hot water again.
Call 203-877-HEAT, Tri-City.
Heard in Woodmont, Walnut Beach, and anywhere in Milford. You found Melissa in the morning and the voice of Connecticut, WICC 600 and 95.9.
Wow, last time I was on a morning show with this, it was a long time ago. Ugh. Little Madonna here. Where are my tickets to give away? 203-333-9422. 333-WICC. Republican State Senate member Ryan Fazio joins us from Greenwich. I wanted to have Ryan on because maybe he can explain to me two things that just keep going around and around and around and around, and we'll get to the new business rankings in the state momentarily. But Ryan, how are you, sir? Good morning.
Good morning, Paul. Good to talk to you.
Ryan, I will say this, not you. I don't want to put words in your mouth. So, folks, this is me saying it, not Ryan Fazio, but I'll ask him for his opinion of what I'm about to say. Have we entered clown car territory now, Ryan, with Pura? I mean, what seriously? I mean, nations have solved wars easier than we have than we have figured out Pura. Now I see there's more internal documents, more text messages here. What is going on, Ryan?
You know, for your listeners, because as you say, the news just keeps coming.
Yeah.
You know, there's been a controversy about whether an op-ed that was penned by the chairs, ostensibly the chairman of the Energy Committee, criticizing the utilities, was actually ghost-written by a commissioner of PURA, the chair of PURA.
Yeah.
And their conversation, their back and forth between the legislators and the commissioner was over text, and that's been FOI'd, and the commissioner of PURA said that she had set her text messages to auto-delete. And obviously, that would run afoul of our Freedom of Information Act requirements in Connecticut. And, you know, we take seriously, as we should, our Freedom of Information Act requirements because the public has a right to transparency and a right to know what its officials are doing. So It's a concern. I think the questions need to be answered. I think we want and deserve transparency in our state government. And, I think more broadly, we would like to see Pura be less of a source of controversy and drama and stick to its primary job of effectively regulating our utilities and providing predictable oversight of our electric grid rather than kind of be a source of this controversy.
Yeah, and Ryan, sadly, though, or maybe not sadly, because people generally are pretty smarter than people give them credit for sometimes. But I don't know about you. Whenever you're a public servant, and I'm here yapping about it on the air, I think one of the phrases in life, Ryan, that you don't want to have to explain in some way, shape, or form are the 3 words deleted text messages. To me, excuse me for being crazy here, but just the fact that we're dealing with that, maybe unfairly, maybe not, just every time you read that, I ask myself again, can we please get to the bottom of this? And I know you folks are trying, but again, this whole thing with Pura over and over and over again, after a while, Ryan, the common person must say, what is wrong here?
Yeah, and we want a regulator that is able to effectively do its job of checking the utilities, that is hard at work, and also that provides a predictable kind of regulatory environment for investment to happen in our electric grid. It's a difficult job, but it's probably not going to make the job be done better or more effectively if it is the source of controversy, and if it is kind of getting into other kind of business rather than its primary and very difficult job of regulating the utilities. So this kind of controversy is unfortunate and unnecessary, and I think we should get to the bottom of it. And I think then we need to go forward and make sure Pura is effectively doing its job. And it's not made easier by the fact that we're having a lot of turnover, by the fact that the governor hasn't appointed the 5 required members of Pura in the several years he's been the governor, and that we're having a lot of new members of Pura all at once. I mean, I think a lot of this was avoidable if the governor was more on top of it.
Finally, Ryan, something that comes out, and I talk about these ratings all the time on my afternoon show, usually because leaders of business look at this stuff. CNBC is out with their annual rankings, the top states for businesses in 2025. And sadly, people are doing cartwheels here, Ryan. Some people are, because we went up 3 or 4 spots, but we're still in the low to mid 20s here. And this is another thing, Ryan, that you must be frustrated about, and members of your caucus are. Year after year after year, Connecticut gets bad marks for the cost of doing business, being business friendly, and the cost of living here. And then people wonder, the common person on the street, Ryan, says, hey, did you hear so-and-so left? Yeah, they're moving to South Carolina, or they're moving to Florida, or they're moving to Georgia. Again, I wish we could really break this cycle here.
Yeah, the philosophy of economic policy in Connecticut is, to borrow terms from Ronald Reagan, if it moves, tax it. If it keeps moving, regulate it. And if it stops moving, subsidize it. That's what these rankings say. It says that the cost of doing business, Connecticut earns a D+. The only reason Connecticut wasn't so far down in the rankings is because its workforce gets high grades. Mm-hmm. The reason it has a good workforce is not the government, it's the people. The people are great in this state. The economic policy is insane. It's really costly to do business. It's really costly to create jobs. It's really costly to live here if you're a regular worker, if you're a regular middle-class family. And guess what? This year we raised taxes on job creation even more. We raised taxes by $300 million in the state budget on small businesses, on hospitals, on nursing homes, and then the governor and the Democratic leadership goes around saying, we didn't raise taxes. I mean, hello, it's right there. You raise taxes by $300 million per year in this state budget above us already having the third highest taxes in the country. So, the reason businesses come to Connecticut or stay in Connecticut, those that do, is because we got great people, great workers, smart people, and yet, imagine if we had low taxes, reasonable regulation, low electric rates, Connecticut would boom. It would boom. It's such a great place. Yeah. If only we had the right people in government and the right policies in government, Connecticut would succeed like never before. It'd be the most prosperous place on earth. It'd be the best economy on earth, like bar none. We just need the change in state government to make it that way, because the people are great and it has so many other good things going for it, except its policies, except its state government.
Republican State Senate member Ryan Fazio of Granite. Ryan, thanks. Have a happy weekend. Appreciate it, man. We'll talk down the road. Thanks.
Have a great weekend, Paul.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. Ryan Fazio there, who is entertaining perhaps a thought at a run for governor on the Republican side. Yeah, we'll go over these rankings again, but every year, whether CNBC does them, whether MSNBC does them, whether the Wall Street Journal does them, Barron's, Fox Business, any major business outlet, Connecticut, for cost of doing business, for the things that big companies and small look to come to a state, we stink. There's no other way to put it. Traffic and weather together right here on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Turnpike southbound is slow from Norwalk's 14 into Darien, and then we've got delays coming out of Stanford's exit 8 to 6. Parkway a little slow around Route 7 in Norwalk. Also a little slow on Route 8 southbound into the Commodore Hull Bridge. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Good morning. A little less humid right now. We have a dew point down to 66 in Bridgeport. Yesterday, that dew point was in the low to mid-70s, so all that due to a breeze shifting out of the northeast early this morning. 73 right now, the air temp in Bridgeport. That dew point again down to 66. We have that wind very light out of the northeast, and our barometer is 30.02. That will be on the way up. Radar is dry, New England and the Northeast. It'll be that way through the day. There may be a renegade shower well inland later this afternoon, but I wouldn't worry about it. Partly sunny through the afternoon with a high in the mid-80s. The wind will shift from the northeast to the southeast by lunch. Overnight, there will be areas of fog. We'll dip down to about 70. Tomorrow, partly sunny and warm with a high in the low 80s. Sunday, partly sunny and warm with a high in the low to mid-80s. And Monday, the showers will return with an afternoon high in the mid-80s, and then the heat will be on again. Tuesday, sunny with a high of 90. On Wednesday, fair with a high of 91. And then by Thursday, fair with a high again at or near 90. Right now, that dew point, I harp on that, but that's the good news. It's down to 66 in Bridgeport, a lot better than yesterday. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC 695.9. It's Melissa in the morning.
Hey, it's Paul in for Melissa. Melissa in the morning right here. WICC 600 AM, 95.9 FM, and of course online, voiceofct.com. Thanks once again to Ryan Fazio for chewing the fat with us a little bit this morning. But again, here it is, the annual ranking, America's top states for business in 2025. Ranked by CNBC, and the Wall Street Journal does this. CBS Market Watch does this. Fox Business does this. Barron's does this. But again, these are the numbers that business leaders look at to say, hey, and then they make phone calls and they have their internal people do their analyses. Hey, should we put our northeastern operation in Connecticut? So you look at Connecticut here, and this, of course, is an amalgamation of several categories. In fact, there are 7 key categories here, for example, that CNBC looks at. Now, we do quite well. We do well in 2. We do okay in 1, and we just really stink in 4 others. And this is not a partisan thing. Quality of life, we're number 5 in the country. Okay, I could see that. Decent place to live, nice areas, nice neighborhoods, 4 distinct seasons. Okay, we're number 5 there. Technical innovation, we're 19th. That's all right. All right, I thought we'd be a little higher with all the great colleges we have. So we're number 5 in quality of life. So a business owner or a corporation may say, well, okay, our workers will be happy. Okay, happy workers. We're number 19 in tech innovation. We're number 8 in workforce. It's not the people. Ryan is right. And even the governor says it all the time. Governors say this. Governor Lamont says it. Governor Malloy used to say it. Governor Rell, Governor Rowland, everybody says we have a great workforce of people. Yeah, we do. But here's where we stink. We stink like rotten fish on ice. The cost of doing business, out of 50 states, we're number 44. With the permitting and the taxes and the fees and a deduction for this and a deduction for that. And look, I'm just telling you, this is what these are the metrics, the numbers, the measurements that these companies look at. We're number 44 in the cost of doing business with the 8th best workforce in the country. So what do you think is going to weigh on a company more? Business friendliness. In other words, we don't the ability not to knock businesses in the head with regulations and fees. We're number 35. Again, number 8 workforce, number 5 quality of life. We're number 44 in how much it costs a business to operate. We're number 35 as far as business friendliness. Infrastructure, we're number 33. 33. And yet we spend tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars a year on infrastructure, and we still stink. We're number 33. And the state economy, number 38. I say it all the time on the afternoon show. Thank God we have Fairfield County. If we didn't have, and if you don't believe me, do some research on it. I've had state officials tell me this for years. Thank God. It's the cash flow, mainly by upper income folks in Fairfield County, many of whom tend to leave from time to time. But it's that upper income cash flow that helps keep the state stable. So we have the 8th best workforce, the number 5 quality of life, yet cost of doing business, we're number 44. Business friendliness, we're number 35. Infrastructure, we're number 33. And state economy, we're number 38. We're always chasing the game here. That's a sports casting phrase. A team, falls behind early and they spend 2/3 of the game or 3/4 of the game. It's called chasing the game just to get even for the final period or final quarter or the final 5 or 10 minutes. Then we can win the game. We do that far, far, far too much here in Connecticut. We waste time on saying, well, you can't buy a gasoline-powered car after a certain date. And we waste time in saying, no, we're not going to bring natural gas here. And we waste time with a clown car, Pura board of regulators. This takes up too much time when we should be concentrating in a nonpartisan way of moving this state forward and maybe turning it more into the state that used to draw corporate headquarters, like many of them who left New York and other states to locate into and through Fairfield County and New Haven County and all over the state. But again, we keep chasing the game here, and it's regulations and taxes and more regulations, and we're going to make businesses do this, and we're going to bring up ridiculous bills like paying people who are on strike. It is mind-numbing how smart we are in this state, yet how little we actually get done. And then when a company leaves, oh, I can't believe they went to a red state. You can't? Go talk to their CEO or CFO. They'll explain it. Traffic and weather together right here on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Some delays through Norwalk southbound on the Connecticut Turnpike. Also heading from Stamford's exit 9 through exit 6. Stop and go a little bit in Fairfield on the Parkway. Then it gets busy just past Route 7 in Norwalk on the way to New Canaan Avenue. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Cloudy skies this morning, but the sun will shine by midday and during the afternoon. It'll be a warm day with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog developing later this evening. Partly cloudy and warm overnight with a low near 70. Saturday, partly sunny and warm with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Craving a delicious meal? Head to Frankie's Diner, the go-to spot for comfort food at 1660 Barnum Ave in Bridgeport. For over 90 years, Frankie's has been serving diner classics using the freshest ingredients, open 7 days a week and 24/7 on the weekends. Whether you're an early bird hungry for lunch or a night owl, enjoy Frankie's. Plus, party rooms available for your next family or office event. Become part of the Frankie's family. Frankie's Diner, 1660 Barnum Ave in Bridgeport.
Are you over 50 and constantly feeling tired, bloated, or just a little off? Don't ignore it. Those could be signs that your liver is crying for help. As we age, our liver, which is essential for metabolism, digestion, immunity, and detoxification, needs extra support and protection. If neglected, it can leave you feeling sluggish and constantly off your game. That's where Active Liver from New Nordic comes in. Available in easy-to-take tablets or delicious gummies, Active Liver combines powerful natural ingredients like turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract to help support healthy liver function. With Active Liver, you're giving your body an essential daily defense against toxins from alcohol, fatty foods, and sweets, helping you reclaim your energy, improve digestion, lose the bloat, and strengthen your immunity so you can look and feel your best again. Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Why? Why take a chance? Why risk a mistake? Why say something? We all have reasons why we choose to ignore the things that give us pause, that seem out of place, that don't feel right. The word why can either paralyze us or empower us to stand up and protect what we love. So if you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my family.
I see safe for my friends.
I see say for my students.
We see say for each other.
I see say because all of this matters.
We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies this community we're all a part of. So protect your everyday. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
You're listening to WICC 695. WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Federal immigration raids at 2 Southern California pot farms sparked chaotic protests. Correspondent Carter Evans is north of L.A. in Camarillo.
As the situation escalated, agents deployed what appeared to be tear gas, sending much of the crowd running.
There's got to be a better way than
the way that they're acting right now.
Some appeared to throw rocks at government vehicles. Melissa Tapia says she was waiting to hear from her family who worked at the farm.
They took my brother, they took his phone away. They're banging on there, not letting people out.
In a social media post, Customs and Border Patrol Commissioner Rodney Scott says 10 juveniles were found at the farms, all undocumented. Word just in, the State Department is firing more than 1,300 career diplomats and civil servants. CBS News has learned it's part of the Trump administration's sweeping plan that began earlier this year to reorganize the department. A 17-year Justice Department official's warning the agency is out for revenge. Patty Hartman, whose job included distributing news releases about January 6th prosecutions, was fired Monday. She tells CBS News.
There used to be a line. There used to be a very distinct separation between the White House and the Department of Justice because one should not interfere with the work of the other. That line is very definitely gone.
She's the fourth person dismissed in the past month. President Trump flies to Central Texas today to view the devastation from last Friday's catastrophic flash flooding. At least 121 people were killed. The search continues for another 170 or so still unaccounted for. CBS's Jason Allen is in Kerrville.
There's no end in sight for the crews painstakingly sifting through every inch of the disaster zone.
It's all hands on deck.
Patrick Turk is a program director with Texas Search and Rescue. As people remain missing, he and his team will keep working to find them, even as they face new challenges.
Now we're dealing with the water being down drastically and huge debris fields that we have to sort through, and that takes a lot of time.
It's sweltering in Phoenix, where temps have topped 100 on all but 4 days in the past 5 weeks. Phil Butler's keeping a close eye on his plumbing and air conditioning crew.
We provide umbrellas and stuff for them to keep them in the shade. And of course, I'm out here, make sure everybody's okay. If I see anything that signs of dehydration, we sit them down, we break them.
23-year-old American delivers a surprise at Wimbledon.
Amazing, Amanda. Emotional, Amanda.
Amanda Anisimova beating top seed Arina Sabalenka to reach tomorrow's women's finals. This is CBS News.
Progressive Insurance, with insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
WICC 695.9, Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Connecticut is receiving over $8 million from new opiate settlements. The money is Connecticut's share of a $720 million settlement between a coalition of states and 8 generic makers of opiates and related products.
We still have other manufacturers and people who are dispensing pills and opioids that we have to deal with and go after and hold them accountable. We've got to push this money out there to treatment and prevention and addiction science and make sure this money gets spent well and effectively.
Attorney General William Tong says the companies in this settlement have been part of an overall problem that continues to kill thousands of people across the country. Yale University has been deemed as an undesirable organization by Russia. The move essentially serves as a blacklist and bans any Yale-related activities in Russia. The country cites efforts by a Russian opposition leader who founded the Anti-Corruption Foundation at Yale and says its graduates are extremists. Yale indicates that it has learned of the news reports from Russia on the matter, but has not received any official notification. DraftKings is agreeing to return $3 million to 7,000 consumers in Connecticut over marketing tactics. The gambling company has agreed to the settlement over allegations that it may have broken state gaming laws with its advertising and marketing practices. The payout will go to consumers who participated in bonus offers that promised either a deposit match or a bonus. Affected customers will be alerted by DraftKings to the settlement in the next 60 days. Stratford police are trying to locate anyone who may have known the victim who died on a July 1st crash on Ferry Boulevard. Police say they've not been able to locate any relatives of 75-year-old Stephen Farrick of Bridgeport. They say Farrick only had a flip-style phone with no contacts inside, and the only recent incoming calls were spam. Anyone who may have known Farrick is asked to contact Stratford Police. For the Voice of Connecticut WICC, I'm John Kamal.
John, brought to you this time around by the Fairfield Law Office of Eliason and Tenor. Give your family and yourself the most important gift you can give. That's peace of mind. Visit ConnecticutElderLaw.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Connecticut Turnpike southbound multi-car crash right near the Saugatuck River Bridge. Injuries are reported. Traffic is jetting by in the center lane. That's it, but it's a slow ride, especially as you come from Bridgeport to Fairfield, heading into that accident scene. It's between 18 and 17. Further south, it's slow in Stanford. We've got delays on Route 8 southbound into the Commodore Hull Bridge. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Any early clouds give way to sun by late morning and midday. It'll be a brighter afternoon, very warm with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog moving in overnight. Partly cloudy and mild with low near 70. Partly sunny and warm Saturday with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
The rave reviews for Fairfield Motorworks say it all. Ron in Fairfield bought his Mercedes and says, "Love this place. I've finally found a mechanic I can trust." Diane in Shelton had her Nissan serviced and says, "This shop is the best. They go above and beyond for the mechanics you can trust. Bring your car to Fairfield Motorworks." 203-333-1800. Fairfield Motorworks in Fairfield off exit 25. They keep you going. Fairfield Motorworks. 203-333-1800.
From the beginning, they were applauded. The music that sold over 100 million records. Chicago, July 29th, Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater in Bridgeport. The music of Chicago. July 29th, Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater in Bridgeport. On sale now at livenation.com. 25464. Chicago.
This is where Shelton starts the day. Melissa in the morning on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
All right, let's talk here. And by the way, it's Paul and for Melissa. Good morning. We're at 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Let's talk about measles. I touched on this earlier today and yesterday. The U.S., by the way, get this, having its worst year for measles cases in more than 30 years. We're only halfway through the year. CDC saying the number of measles cases in the U.S. is nearly at 1,300. Experts are worried. They say the true figure may be even higher. 14 states have active measles outbreaks. To talk about this is Dr. Stephen Goldberg. He serves as Chief Medical Officer of the diagnostics giant HealthTrack RX. He's been recognized among the 100 most influential people in healthcare by Modern Healthcare for his dedication to advancing the population health. He's a doctor, respected healthcare innovator. Dr. Goldberg previously served as VP of Medical Affairs at Quest Diagnostics. Hey, Dr. Goldberg, it's Paul here in Connecticut. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Paul. Good to talk with you.
Thanks for sparing the time. We appreciate it. Man, measles. I mean, how, Dr. Goldberg, is this happening? I thought measles, I knew it wasn't completely eradicated, but it was one of these things I thought that we were kind of over. So explain to my audience, how did we get here?
Okay. So, Paul, back in the 1960s, we had an immunization that was advanced forward. And as a consequence of that, measles was licked in the United States. What people don't realize is before that, we had millions of infections every year. We had tens of thousands of hospitalizations every year. We had hundreds of deaths. So it was licked. And then it started to recur because of gaps in people getting immunized. Mm-hmm. Factors included vaccine hesitancy. Factors included the pandemic. So there were a number of issues that have us revisiting measles, which is a shame.
And measles is serious, right? Please explain. Go into a little bit, doctor, if you can, to the pathology here and the contagious nature of measles with particles, still what, in the air hours after an infected person is in the room? Talk about that a little.
Okay. So it's a highly contagious virus, and a single person can infect 12 to 18 others. So it spreads really, really easily. Mm-hmm. And the way we stop the spread is having immunized people around when that one unimmunized person presents themselves. That's how you knock it dead. Yeah.
What does measles, Dr. Goldberg? What is the attack point for measles? How does it, sadly, as you say, kill people or at least render some serious health problems? What does the measles virus attack?
Well, it starts with fever, cough, runny nose, red, watery eyes, and then you develop pretty classic rash on the skin. The main area of injury is the lungs. It can cause pneumonia. It can cause ear infections, diarrhea. It can also cause brain infection, encephalitis, and blindness, and rarely death. There is not a specific treatment. All you can do is hospitalize seriously ill people and provide support. So it's a tough spot to be in.
And would I assume, doctor, and I know that I shouldn't do that, so correct me if I'm wrong, do people with other comorbidities, heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, any chronic diseases make them more susceptible to this, worse or not?
Yes. If you're older and you're not immunized and you have underlying chronic disease, your risk of not doing well is higher.
What does your lab, Health Track RX, do in a situation like this, and what are some of the services you guys offer?
Well, we're the nation's leader in outpatient testing for infectious disease. We have a single collection swab that can test multiple different body parts. And we offer a measles test. So if someone comes in with the symptoms I described, high fever, cough, runny nose, skin rash, you can use our swab, apply it to an infected area, send it to our lab, and the next morning we'll let you know if someone has measles or not.
You know, doctor, finally, I'm in my mid-60s. I'm 64, knock on wood, in pretty good health. But the last time I was at my GP, which was a few months ago, and I asked her about this, I said, hey, she said, what year were you born? And we went over it, and she kind of looked at the numbers, Dr. Goldberg, and she said, nah, you know, your protection here from your childhood measles shots may have waned a little bit. What is the gray area, if you will, Dr. Goldberg, of that? Because I'm going to get another measles screen coming up in about 2 or 3 weeks. She just wanted to check that. Should older people go ahead and do that at a lab?
You've got options. Your doctor's doing a great job with you. So if you're born 57 or later, and you can't find documentation that you got 2 measles vaccines, you've got a couple choices. One is to go a lab and see if you have antibodies. The second is just go get a booster. And those are both reasonable options to undertake.
And the booster does not have any deleterious side effects, generally safe?
Generally safe, yes. It has got 70 years of good history serving citizens in this country.
The website, folks, if you want to check it out, get more info, Health Track RX. That's healthtrackrx.com. The guest, Dr. Stephen Goldberg. Hey, Dr. Goldberg, thank you so much. Important topic. We appreciate the time. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. And I'll say 0 cases in Connecticut.
Oh, excellent.
Yep, and that's because of the state's approach to immunizations, which is very strict. And just wanted to offer that as we wrap. You have a great day.
Thanks, Dr. Goldberg. Great stuff there. Appreciate that. Thanks for that number, Dr. Stephen Goldberg. All right, good. No cases in Connecticut, so there you go. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. Look, I'm not going to get into a debate about vaccines this morning. I don't want to start at least on this show. I'll be back in the afternoon on Monday. You can scream at me then. But look, we've been vaccinating people against measles, which is serious stuff. It kills people. We've been doing this, what do you say, for 70 years? There's no reason to stop. Relax. It's the measles. Traffic and weather together right here on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
There are injuries reported this morning. Connecticut Turnpike southbound, multi-car crash right near the Saugatuck River Bridge in Westport. That is very heavy now. We've got delays coming out of Bridgeport heading into that accident scene. Looks like maybe the center lane gets by single file, but it looks like a pretty serious thing. Lots of emergency vehicles are on the scene there. Further south, it's slow in Stamford southbound on the Connecticut Turnpike. Some delays northbound around exit 7. I'm seeing a slow go on Route 8 southbound into the Commodore Hull Bridge in Shelton. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Good morning. A little less humid outside early this morning. We have a dew point down to 66 in Bridgeport. Yesterday we had a dew point of 73, so you will notice a little less humid air early this morning, and that due to a wind shift out of the northeast right now at about 7. Humidity is 84%. Our barometer is 30.02. We have a little bit of the sun. We'll see more of that by later this morning and during the afternoon as well. So all in all, not a bad day on the way. Partly sunny with a high in the mid-80s. The wind will shift, though, out of the southeast after lunch, so a little more humid later this afternoon. Overnight, we have the fog moving in after midnight. It will be a mild night with a low near 70. And the weekend, not bad. Partly sunny tomorrow. There will be fog early in the morning. That will dissipate by mid-morning. By the afternoon, lower 80s. Sunday, partly sunny with a high in the low to mid-80s. Monday, the showers arrive with an afternoon high in the mid-80s, and then the heat will be on in a big way, and maybe a heat wave by the middle of next week. Tuesday, sunny with a high of 90. On Wednesday, fair with a high of 90. A few showers Thursday with a high again at or near 90. Right now, we've got a reading in the lower 70s, but it is a little less humid outside. That'll be the story through midday. Partly sunny with a high in the low 80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
You know Connecticut has the best pizza in the entire country. That's why the best way to celebrate our state is by trying all the best pizza around. The Connecticut Pizza and Brew Fest with Brown Roofing, driven by Mazda of Milford, returns to the Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater Sunday, July 20th. Get your tickets now at voiceofct.com. Food trucks, craft beer, live music, pizza panels, and so much more. Celebrate all things pizza at the Connecticut Pizza and Brew Fest.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor. Is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
This is your CT Insider weather update. Today, mostly to partly cloudy and muggy. Chance of afternoon rain or thunderstorms. Highs in the low to mid 80s. Lows dip into the 60s later on. Tomorrow, partly cloudy and humid with a chance of more afternoon thunderstorms. Highs in the mid 80s. Powered by CT Insider.
There's more to Connecticut with CT Insider. A hometown behind every headline. With every issue, investigation, or interview, there's more when you're following from the inside. Visit ctinsider.com for more.
Discover the finest flooring in Southern Connecticut at Courtesy Carpet. With over 50 years experience, from intricate area rugs and durable vinyl to elegant stair runners, they have it all. Shop anywhere, but see them before you buy. Visit L&J and their team on Route 111 in Monroe or at courtesycarpet.com. Financing is available, so you can get the floors you love today. Trust the experts in quality flooring, because at Courtesy Carpet, your satisfaction is their courtesy.
Many tire dealers will sell you Falcon tires, but Town Fair Tire doesn't just sell Falcon tires, they sell them at the guaranteed lowest price. Plus, they give you free services for the life of your Falcon tires. That's an unbeatable deal only Town Fair Tire can offer, because Town Fair Tire is New England's largest name brand discount tire dealer. Nobody beats a Town Fair Tire deal, and I mean nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
The WICC 600 Surfside Hotel Greatest Bluefish Tournament on Earth is happening August 23rd and 24th. Visit bluefishtournament.com to learn more.
Before you know about it, she's already talking about it. Melissa in the Morning on the Voice of Connecticut, WICC 600 and 95.9.
Okay, 203-333-9422, 333 WICC. As we thank Dr. Stephen Goldberg from healthtrackrx.com. Check it out. Maybe it's for you, maybe not, but give it a look there. And if you're about my age, late 50s, early 60s, getting up there, may want to talk to your doctor and say, hey, do I need a measles booster? I'm not telling you what to do. Talk to your, as we like to say, healthcare professional. Want to get back because I realized I didn't give you the states that did well on this CNBC America's Top States for Business 2025 because, again, in the stuff that really counts, in the end, we stink. Connecticut stinks. I'm sorry to say that. We have the number 5 quality of life in this state, according to this survey. That's great. We have the 8th best workforce, according to metrics in this survey. That's great. We're in the top half for technical innovation, number 19. Okay, that's pretty good. But you know what drags us down? The stuff that CEOs, company presidents, IT managers, and CFOs look at. And it's not me. It's not just this one survey. You see this here with CNBC. You see it with Fox Business, the Wall Street Journal, Barron's, CBS Market Watch. Out of 50 states, we're number 44 for the cost of doing business. Yet some of our lawmakers say, hey, let's lop on more taxes and fees. We're number 44. Business friendliness, we're number 35. 35. One of the 13 original colonies, we're number 35 in business friendliness. Well, you know, Paul, here in Connecticut, we side with the workers. Okay, you can do that. And then don't scream and howl and moan when people move down south. I don't know what to tell you. In the overall state economy, according to CNBC, we have the number 38 state economy in this year. 38. What's the majority in Hartford actually doing? How is it we have the number 38 economy in the country with the resources we have in the state? How is that possible? Are the priorities in Hartford with our lawmakers that we seem to rubber stamp for the majority every 2 years in Hartford? Is anything right getting done? Or again, let me use a sportscasting term, we chase the game. We lose in the first quarter, we lose in the second quarter, we stay competitive in the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter or third period, for you hockey peeps, what are we doing here? According to CNBC, the number 1 business-friendly state, North Carolina. They've got the number 3 economy, the number 11 infrastructure, the number 4 workforce, the number 21 cost of doing business, the number 4 in business friendliness, 29 in quality of life, 13 in tech and innovation. North Carolina, number 1. Texas, number 2. Florida, number 3. Virginia, number 4. Ohio is number 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Michigan, Georgia, Tennessee, Indiana, and Missouri. I'm sorry, in Minnesota. North Carolina, number 1. Texas, number 2. Florida, Virginia, Ohio. Michigan, Georgia, Tennessee, Indiana, and Minnesota. The top state for the workforce category is Texas. The top state for infrastructure, Ohio. The top state for the overall economy, Florida, followed by Texas, North Carolina, Delaware, and New York. The best state to do business in, Oklahoma, followed by Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, and Texas. We get hammered in this category. Overall business friendliness, North Dakota, number 1, South Dakota, number 2. Okay, the Dakotas, whatever. You can say they're out there. But then Tennessee, North Carolina, Indiana, and New Hampshire. All right, there's a New England state. How is New Hampshire number 6 at business friendliness? All right, state of New Hampshire, live free or die. And Connecticut's at number 35. So in business friendliness, New Hampshire is kicking our rear ends. How is that? Well, because in New Hampshire, they don't tax everything to death. So again, I know people are going to say, well, those numbers mean nothing. Well, okay, then. They can mean nothing when, sadly, I don't want to come on this radio station. I don't want to. I'm sure Melissa doesn't want to. I'm sure Lisa Wexler doesn't want to. I'm sure John and Chris with a download don't want to come on to and say, well, X and X moving out of Connecticut or deciding against coming to Connecticut. It just is what it is. Capital goes, CAPITAL is in money. Capital goes where it's treated best. Traffic and weather together right here, WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
It's a 3-car crash southbound on the Connecticut Turnpike, exit 17, Saugatuck in Westport. And we've got a backup from Fairfield down, and there's only one lane open. That is the center lane. You're being funneled in through between fire trucks at 17 in Westport southbound. And then once you get through there, it's just slow in Stamford. But there's injuries reported with this crash in Westport. Southbound on the Parkway, a little slow in Norwalk, and delays Route 8 southbound into the Commodore Hull Bridge. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Cloudy skies this morning, but the sun will shine by midday and during the afternoon. It'll be a warm day with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog developing later this evening. Partly cloudy and warm overnight with a low near 70. Saturday, partly sunny and warm with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
For over a century, Abriola Parkview Funeral Home in Trumbull has been a beacon of support and compassion for families navigating the profound challenges of grief and loss. Family owned since 1906, we are dedicated to helping you honor your loved ones with dignity and respect. Trust our experienced team to guide you through this difficult time, allowing you to celebrate a life well lived. Abriola.com, your legacy, our commitment.
I'm Barbara from Trumbull, and I've used Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning since 2012 when he diagnosed the source of a carbon monoxide problem when no one else could. I use him for maintenance and emergency situations for that reason. He has always been able to fix any problem in my home. There's no one better than Steve Basso.
Looking for a reliable plumbing or HVAC company? Steve Basso Plumbing, Heating, and AC has proven customer satisfaction since 1974. Go to BassoPHAC.com. That's BassoPHAC.com.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-1509. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-555-1509. That's 800-555-1509. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-555-1509. 800-555-1509.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. President Trump will be in Texas today. He'll be looking at the after effects of deadly flooding there. State Representative Josie Garcia says the debris has really piled up.
It's like a cement structure, so we need pickaxes, hatchets, chainsaws. We've even been using machetes.
There were clashes yesterday between protesters and ICE agents who were raiding a huge cannabis farm in Southern California. CBS News Los Angeles reporter Lauren Posen was in Camarillo.
This farm, if you're not aware, is one of the largest licensed cannabis farms in the state of California with over 5 million square feet of growing space, and protesters say the people detained are hardworking individuals.
At the Phoenix airport, temperatures were breaking records and airlines are watching over their employees. Here's CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
For workers that are on the ramps at the airport, for the airlines, it requires
a lot of thought about how you keep your operation moving and your people safe.
CBS News Brief. I'm Christopher Cruz.
WICC 695.9. Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Connecticut is receiving over $8 million from new opiate settlements. The money is Connecticut's share of a $720 million settlement between a coalition of states and 8 generic makers of opiates and related products.
We still have other manufacturers and people who are dispensing pills and opioids that we have to deal with and go after and hold them accountable. We've got to push this money out there to treatment and prevention and addiction science and make sure this money gets spent well and effectively.
Attorney General William Tong says the companies in this settlement have been part of an overall problem that continues to kill thousands of people across the country. The Mental Health Parity Bill was signed into law yesterday. The bill received unanimous approval in the State House of Representatives back in May, ensuring mental health care access for all residents. The new law is aimed at holding insurance companies accountable and making sure that they provide the same coverage for mental health services as they do for medical or surgical conditions. At the signing ceremony, attended by News 8, State Senator Matthew Lesser explained the changes.
There were a couple of flaws in the law we wrote in 2019. One, there were no penalties. Insurance companies were supposed to do it, but there were no fines if they didn't.
Governor Ned Lamont also shared his enthusiasm with the crowd.
We're going to make sure that there is mental health parity. Physical health, mental health, they are one and the same. They are one and the same.
Yale University has been deemed as an undesirable organization by Russia. The move essentially serves as a blacklist and bans any Yale-related activities in Russia. The country cites efforts by a Russian opposition leader who founded the Anti-Corruption Foundation at Yale and says its graduates are extremists. Yale indicates that it has learned of the news reports from Russia on the matter, but has not received any official notification. DraftKings is agreeing to return $3 million to 7,000 consumers in Connecticut over marketing tactics. The gambling company has agreed to the settlement over allegations that it may have broken state gaming laws with its advertising and marketing practices. The payout will go to consumers who participated in bonus offers that promised either a deposit match or a bonus. Affected customers will be alerted by DraftKings to the settlement in the next 60 days. One of the jurors in the murder trial of Raoul Valley spoke to the media about how the jury came to the controversial not guilty verdict. In a conversation with Channel 3, Jim Stolman, who read the verdict, said that the prosecution did not make a compelling enough case for the murder charge.
They just didn't have enough to prove the case. There was so much inconsistencies and contradictions. Not everyone will be happy with the conclusion. We weren't happy that we couldn't come on the final counts. But I think we did everything we could have to get as far as we did.
The jury remained deadlocked on several other charges, including reckless assault and reckless manslaughter. The judge ordered a mistrial, and prosecutors may still refile those charges. Dozens of inmates at the Bridgeport Correctional Center were displaced after a pipe became clogged and caused flooding. The maintenance staff were not immediately able to clear the clog on Wednesday night, which led to the decision to move the inmates in the area into a gymnasium. A contractor was brought in to clear the blocked pipe. The 47 inmates spent the night on cots in the gym and were expected to be back in their cells last night once cleaning and disinfecting was complete. Stratford police are trying to locate anyone who may have known the victim who died on a July 1st crash on Ferry Boulevard. Police say they've not been able to locate any relatives of 75-year-old Stephen Farrick of Bridgeport. They say Farrick only had a flip-style phone with no contacts inside, and the only recent incoming calls were spam. Anyone who may have known Farrick is asked to contact Stratford Police. For the Voice of Connecticut, WICC, I'm John Kamal.
Right, you are, John, sponsored this time around by Kitchen Corner. Hey, visit Kitchen Corner in Fairfield, the headquarters for your cooking needs, and Grilling Essentials, offering expert knife sharpening, too. Check them out. 203-374-1118, 203-374-1118, or check them out, kitchen-corner.com.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
They're making progress on the Turnpike southbound now at exit 17 in Westport, scene of an earlier multi-car crash. They do have the left lane and the center lane. 2 lanes are open now. Right lane is still closed with emergency vehicles there. So it is going to improve, but it's still there. So a slow backup behind that heading into Westport. Slow in Stamford southbound. We've got delays heading through New Canaan on the Parkway and very heavy delays southbound on Route 8 as you approach the Commodore Hull Bridge. Now we have an accident reported northbound. This is on the Wilbur Cross as you make your way towards the West Rock Tunnel. 2 cars, and that is approaching again the tunnel in New Haven. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Any early clouds give way to sun by late morning and midday. It'll be a brighter afternoon, very warm with a high in the mid 80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog moving in overnight. Partly cloudy and mild with low near 70. Partly sunny and warm Saturday with a high in the mid 80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
There's always a reason to visit Gusto Trattoria in Milford. The brand new outdoor pavilion is open. Come dine al fresco in this beautiful and spacious outdoor area, complete with fireplace and full bar. Live music is back Fridays at 7 and Sundays at 4. Plus, book your next special occasion at Gusto and select from one of the many private room choices. Modern and classic Italian dishes, a glass of rosé, outdoor dining, and music. It's all at Gusto Trattoria, 255 Boston Post Road, Milford. The art of Italian living. GustoTrattoria.com.
No part of your home is more important than the roof over your head. Hi, I'm Eddie Griffin, the owner of Brown Roofing, your local expert for roof replacement and roof repair. Water resistant, weather resistant, wind resistant, our products offer superior protection that come with a 50-year lifetime transferable warranty. Call us today at 475-445-1195 or visit us at brownroofing600.com. Brown won't let you down.
If you've got a smartphone, then you've got the voice of Connecticut. Search for our free app in your smartphone. Back to Melissa in the morning on WICC 600 and 95.9.
Yeah, it's Paula for Melissa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. 8 to 8:37, almost 8:38. We'll get back to open phones a little bit later on. We'll take some calls more coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. Partly sunny, a little drier, says Paul Bjork, maybe as the day goes on today. Right now, we're, depending upon where you are, upper 60s to low 70s right here. Joining us right now, and this gentleman joins me when I'm on my usual afternoon gig every Friday afternoon, former Bridgeport Democratic State Rep Chris Caruso, to give us his thoughts on all things Bridgeport and Connecticut. Hey, Chris, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Paul. I'm doing well.
Hey, Chris, I want to get your take on a couple of things. Interesting story in the Hearst papers this morning. I guess this initiative that the city undertook with a company up the road out of Berlin to scan license plates in the city in just a month. In 1 month, Chris, according to the story, they found 5,000 vehicles, they say, that showed out-of-state registrations, and the mayor's office is saying that easily 1/4 to a half of those cars are probably illegally registered out of state. And boy, Chris, that has to cost the city a lot of money.
Oh, it does. And, this has been an issue, Paul, that's been around as probably as long as I have been, where people are not registering their cars in the state in order to, beat the property taxes and registration fees and so forth. But it's very important, 5,000 vehicles. I'm surprised there wasn't more, to be honest with you. But 5,000 vehicles, and to think, what that would mean for the city of Bridgeport, especially education, funding, and other areas of the budget that's needed.
Yeah.
And the other point, it's not fair to the people that are lawfully paying the taxes, and those that aren't. So I'm glad the city stepped forward and hired this firm. I don't think Bridgeport's alone. A lot of towns have done this already, and others will do it. But it's the right thing to do. If you're going to be here in Connecticut and you're going to have your vehicle, it has to be registered here. It's just the law, and it should be adhered to.
Yeah, sense of fairness. Chris, something on a statewide level here. Again, and you and I live and eat and breathe this stuff. I find this fascinating. Again, we still haven't heard that Governor Lamont is officially running, although he welcomed Hampden Democratic State Rep Josh Elliott to the race the other day for the Democratic nomination, and Representative Elliott, who a lot of people remember, bested a very powerful Brendan Sharkey in Hamden. Representative Sharkey decided not to run, I believe, in 2016. He kind of, although he's filed paperwork, and we know how good that is, he kind of hasn't really entered the race, although there's some kind of an announcement I heard coming on Monday. So I know you and I have been talking about this. How do you handicap this, Chris? What do you think's going on here?
Well, I just think the governor needs time. It's a big decision to run. It's a third term. And I always think politically people assess things because if you hang around long enough, people get angry with you and get upset because you're making decisions. So I think from a perspective individually, as a family, friends, I think you want to assess where things are. But if I were to handicap it, Ned Lamont's going to run again. I think what Josh is doing is similar to what he did with the former speaker, Brendan Sharkey, who was from Hamden. And Brendan was going to run again. Mm-hmm. And Josh jumped in and said, hey, I'm running for his seat in Hamden for state representative. And I think at that point, Brendan Sharkey thought about it and said, is it worth a primary? Is it worth a battle? Yeah. Because as speaker, you're working on campaigns throughout the state. You're raising money. You're doing all those things. So I think, Brendan at that point made the assessment he wasn't going to run. And I think Josh is doing the same thing here with Ned Lamont. Yeah. I think he figures if he jumps out early, it puts some pressure on Ned and that he thinks Ned's going to walk away. I don't see that happening. I think Ned will run. I think, and, by him saying, hey, run, whoever wants to run in the primary, do it, makes sense in many ways. What is he going to say? No, he shouldn't run. So I think that makes sense. The other thing is, from a purely political point, the more people that enter the Democratic primary is only going to heighten Ned's chance of winning. Mm-hmm. The more people in the race split up the votes, and the governor's going to have a better chance of winning the primary. I will tell you though, I kind of think Ned will win again. I really do. He's moderate in different ways. I don't know why the progressives are so upset with him because, frankly, he's signed a lot of progressive legislation over the years, things that they've wanted. The daycare for kids. Well, they passed that bill. They wanted things dealing with family leave. Working if you're sick or a family member, you could take time off from work to help the person. He passed that, and the list goes on. And yet he's been moderate because I think that's his style. And frankly, the center is where Connecticut is. I try to remind my friends, even when I was in the legislature, whether you like it or not, that's where it is. It's in the center, and it's more of a moderate state. And some people don't believe that. Some people say, "Oh, it's a liberal, progressive." It's really not. It's in the center. And so do I think Ned will run? Yes, he will. I think, again, it's right now people are kind of jockeying, and I think that's what Josh is doing too. But when it all comes down to it, I think Ned Lamont will run again. If he doesn't, I think a person like Susan Bysowitz will run. And so I think, when you look at it all, I think it's just, moving the pieces on the chessboard now. But I don't think people should read into this more than it is because, frankly, if you read when Josh announced that he was going to run and put the exploratory committee together, you heard the governor's communications guy. Yeah, he was pretty blistering when he came out. He didn't attack Josh, but he went through a litany of what the governor's signed and his record, and so I don't think they're in that posture just to say, well, he's not going to run. I think the governor, by the end of the summer, probably the beginning of the fall, he'll announce, which again is a year before. I think the governor's assessing what's going on. There's some people who are opposing him, but the moderate caucus in the House of Democrats came out in support of him. Yeah. So I think you're going to have 6 of one, half a dozen of another, but my gut feeling is he'll run again.
Okay. Great stuff as usual, Chris Caruso. Chris, thank you for the early report this morning, and have a happy weekend.
You too, Paul. Take care now.
Thanks, Chris Caruso there. Okay, traffic and weather together. A lot more coming up right here. Paul and for Melissa. It's the Melissa in the Morning program on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Connecticut Turnpike southbound is still working on clearing that earlier multi-car crash Saugatuck River Bridge in Westport. They have the right lane is blocked, but the Parkway could be a good alternate for you. We still have delays coming from Fairfield into Westport on the Connecticut Turnpike southbound, and hopefully that should be cleared soon. Southbound on the Parkway, just slow in New Canaan. I am seeing delays northbound of Milford on the Turnpike heading into the rest area, and northbound in New Haven on the Wilbur Cross 2-car at the West Rock Tunnel. Sponsored by R.D. Cinto. If you move your office to an R.D. Cinto property, your employees will value coming to work. Learn more at Cinto.com. You deserve it. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Good morning, everybody. A little less humid early this morning. We have a dew point down to 66 in Bridgeport. Yesterday, 73, so you may feel the difference as you step outside. Right now, it is 73 degrees in Bridgeport. That dew point is 66. Our barometer is 30.02 on the way up, and we do have a very light breeze now is shifting out of the east at about 7, and that will move out of the southeast by lunch and during the afternoon. So later in the day, it may get a little more humid again. Going back to June 1st through today, we have had 18 days with a dew point of at least 70 degrees, the second most in that period since the beginning of the century. Only last year had more, 19. So again, we have had 18 days since June 1st with a dew point of at least 70 degrees or better. If you're feeling humid, you are not alone. Partly sunny through this afternoon with a high in the low to mid 80s. Patchy fog developing after midnight overnight with a low near 70. Partly sunny tomorrow with a high again in the low 80s. There may be a renegade shower or a thunderstorm, but again, nothing to worry about. Sunday, fair with a high in the low 80s. Monday, the showers arrive by late morning and early afternoon with a high in the mid 80s. And then a heat wave, most likely, by midweek. Tuesday, sunny with a high of 90. On Wednesday, sunny with a high of 90. A few scattered showers Thursday with a high again at or near 90. So there may be a heat wave by the middle of next week. Right now we have readings in the low 70s, the dew point down to 66, shooting for a high in the low 80s later this afternoon. Have a great day and enjoy your weekend. I'm meteorologist Paul Pioric on WICC.
This is your Optimum Beach Report. Today, expect very high UV levels with a max UV index of 8. Air quality will be poor with an AQI in the 50s and 60s. Expect good conditions for the beach or pool today with a 40% chance of rain. Powered by Optimum Business.
Stay ahead of cyber threats with fast and secure fiber internet starting at $65 a month with 99.9% network reliability and speeds up to 8 gig. Visit Optimum.com/business or call 855-2-OPTIMUM today.
The number one fear when it comes to planning for retirement is running out of money. So you take that, and then, of course, that 42% of baby boomers that don't know how much money they have in their nest egg, well, that also means they don't know if they have enough. Think about it. Do you? Find out by listening to Mastering Your Wealth. Join host David Gagnon of First Financial Planners every Saturday morning at 8, right here on WICC 600. And, of course, for more details, you can always visit online at masteringyourwealthradio.com.
You're listening to WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut, broadcasting from the Town Fair Tire Studios. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut. WICC 695.9. It's Melissa in the morning.
And it's Paul in the big Melissa chair for a little bit more. Melissa back on Monday. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Hope all is well. Get back to open phones later on, next hour, whatever's on your mind. Talk or text 203-333-9422. 333-WICC. Much thanks to one of my regular afternoon guests, Chris Caruso, for his thoughts on the Capitol scene and locally as well. Mike Cerulli joins us, our old friend from News 8. You see him on News 8, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 days a week. Mike, do you ever get any time off? You do more than anybody I've ever seen. How you holding up, pal?
I hold up well, Paul. It's great to be on with you.
And thanks for having me here. But no, I do well, but I really enjoy the work.
Oh, yeah, this is not work what we do, Mike. This is not work. This is, what's that old phrase? Show me a man who loves what he does and he doesn't work a day in his life, or something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, how do you, we just heard from Chris Caruso on the Ned Lamont v. Josh Elliott and whoever else is picking on the governor now. How do you read, Mike, that from what you hear and see at the Capitol in your contacts, is Elliott going to go through with this if Ned runs? And if he did, nobody gave Zoran Mamdani a shot in New York here, and I'm not saying Mr. Mamdani is Josh Elliott, but you know what I mean here. How do you think this plays out?
Yeah, I think at this point it does seem like Josh Elliott is going to go through with this as an explicit challenge to the governor. There was sort of been a dialogue in the last, I would say, 6 to 8 months of among a lot of the Democrats who are looking at running for governor in the event the governor didn't run again.
Yeah.
And the thing you would always hear from sources, from people who are kind of in the know, is that Josh was maybe, let's say, on the fence about would he wait and see what the governor was going to do and then jump in if the governor didn't run for a third term, or would he do an explicit primary challenge? And I think the events of the last, let's say, month or so, maybe 2 months, if you include the end of the session, really sort of did two things. One, it probably inspired Josh, I think, a little bit, and then two, it really stirred up some anger among the left wing or the progressive wing of the Democratic Party here in Connecticut. And of course, people who have been following the news will know what events triggered that. The governor's veto of 2 progressive priority bills, the budget, state budget. A lot of progressives, Mayor Justin Elliker from New Haven being one of them, were upset that there wasn't more funding for education in that. That upset the teachers' unions as well. And then I would say, again, and I think you made a good point, Paul, that the comparisons between the situation in New York City and our own state are very imperfect comparisons. But I would say that there was an element of folks who watched what Zoran Mamdani did in New York City and said, oh, my goodness, it's actually not impossible to have a totally come from nowhere primary. Now, of course, we've seen that before with AOC and others.
Sure.
But in this year we're in right now with the politics we have in this moment, I think people did see Zoran Mamdani and say, maybe this is possible to challenge an established, more moderate Democrat in the state of Connecticut.
And Mike Cerulli, part of that, and I'm sure you've read about this too, and I can't get enough of this, but part of that is the use that Mr. Mamdani did of social media, TikTok videos. He brought in a real slick people or a team to do that. And listen, love Governor Lamont. He doesn't impress me as a TikTok guy. Now, I know he gets out there and dances at a festival every so often, but, it's going to be interesting to see, Mike, if it's Josh Elliott or even somebody else or just the voices added to this, if they try to go after those, younger feeling disenfranchised voters with just a real blast of social media stuff here. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I would say, Paul, I didn't read about Zoran Mamdani on TikTok. I'm part of the generation that is native to TikTok that gets a big bulk of our news and information, entertainment from TikTok. And I will tell you, in the weeks preceding the New York City mayoral primary, obviously a lot of my friends who I socialize with work in the political scene, but a lot don't. And I will tell you the amount of people who, let's say, are high information, meaning they pay attention to things, they understand what's going on in the news, but they're not necessarily people who are working in the political sphere. The amount of people who would talk to me and say, I saw Zoran Mamdani's TikToks. I think this guy's really, really good. I think he's really with it. Was really staggering. I've never had that type of sort of just conversational interest expressed to me in any politician, certainly not anyone here in Connecticut. And I think what Zoran Mamdani did is probably not replicable in that sense because he's in the densest media and social media environment in the world down in New York City. There's sort of a density or critical mass issue here in Connecticut that you probably have to overcome, but certainly the template of earned media, as we call it in the business, meaning media you don't pay for, is now done almost entirely on social media. Of course, yes, the News 8s and the WICCs of the world are important for narrative shaping and for advancing issues and putting those debates forward. But as far as reaching those young voters, social media is where it's at.
Mike, in about the minute or 90 seconds we have left, is this special session to redo this housing bill that the governor wants, does this have the possibility of getting ugly or not?
I don't know. I think that there's pretty much an understanding at this point of what people do and don't want to see in that bill. And I think we saw this with the budget earlier this year. There was a moment of animosity between some of the participants in those discussions, and then very quickly they sat back down and said, let's figure this out. And then about a day later, they had a deal. I think that is probably what you'll see here.
All right, Mike Cerulli, News 8, check him out every day. Mike, thank you. Have a happy weekend, buddy. Appreciate it.
You too. Great to be here.
Thanks. Mike Cerulli there, News 8. All right, interesting stuff here. Yeah. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. By the way, that same number, talk or text, right? If you don't want to be on the radio, but you want to tell us something, just use your voice to text and send it on its merry way to 203-333-9422. It's Paul and for Melissa. Melissa in the morning of Friday on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Still working on clearing the accident that was at 17 southbound on the Turnpike in Westport. Still a fire truck, and looks like a wrecker now is there, and the right lane is blocked. Left and center lanes are moving, but it's still pretty busy coming from Fairfield into Westport. We have minor delays in Stamford southbound on the Turnpike, a little slow in New Canaan on the Parkway. Northbound, we have left lane blocked on the Connecticut Turnpike right around 43. DOT work, the cause there. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Cloudy skies this morning, but the sun will shine by midday and during the afternoon. It'll be a warm day with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog developing later this evening. Partly cloudy and warm overnight with a low near 70. Saturday, partly sunny and warm with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Safety, security, control, just some of the reasons to call Nick and his team at Property Protection Consulting. Hey, it's Melissa, and I use PPC for our doorbell cameras, smart thermostats, and surveillance cameras because they make my home and family feel safe and secure. Plus, everything is easy to operate. It's all on one app, and if something goes wrong, somebody from the team comes out right away. For security systems for your home or business, book a complimentary consultation with locally owned Property Protection Consulting at ppcalarms.com. Tell them Melissa sent you.
You've been hit and you're hurt. You were in a crash and now you're also out of cash. You need someone by your side. You need George Ganem to help you through the injury and legal process. With decades of experience helping clients injured in an accident, George Ganem takes on the insurance companies to get you the settlement you deserve fast. George Ganem will fight for you. Call George at 203-713-8383 or GanemInjuryLawyers.com.
Are you over 50 and constantly feeling tired, bloated, or just a little off? Don't ignore it. Those could be signs that your liver is crying for help. As we age, our liver, which is essential for metabolism, digestion, immunity, and detoxification, needs extra support and protection. If neglected, it can leave you feeling sluggish and constantly off your game. That's where Active Liver from New Nordic comes in. Available in easy-to-take tablets or delicious gummies, Active Liver combines powerful natural ingredients like turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract to help support healthy liver function. With Active Liver, you're giving your body an essential daily defense against toxins from alcohol, fatty foods, and sweets, helping you reclaim your energy, improve digestion, lose the bloat, and strengthen your immunity so you can look and feel your best again. Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Dan Hicks with Paul Azinger, welcoming you back to the Healthy Stand Classic.
You couldn't ask for better conditions. 68 degrees and a UV index of 3.
This direct exposure to midday sun could be increasing her risk to melanoma.
It looks like she's making a change.
Now let's see what she takes out.
Oh, wow. It looks like she's pulling out a 15.
I don't know. It looks like she's going with a 30.
Strong choice.
Incredible.
Stand Up to Cancer and Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer. Visit takeahealthystand.org.
WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut. WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. An immigration raid on a couple of pot farms in Southern California brought out hundreds of protesters who tried to stop agents from driving through fields and rounding up workers. Correspondent Camila Montoya Galvez.
What we know is that federal immigration agents at Customs and Border Protection and ICE together collectively raided this cannabis farm in Southern California that officials are now alleging was hiring and employing people who are in the country unlawfully and who are not legally authorized to work in the U.S.
The agents used smoke canisters and what appeared to be tear gas on demonstrators. President Trump flies to Central Texas today to see the devastation from last week's catastrophic flooding firsthand. CBS's Karen Hua is in Kerrville.
We know President Trump is set to land around noon local time, and he's going to be taking this aerial tour to survey the damage and see some of the hardest hit areas. He is set to meet with local officials who are going to brief him, as well as meet with some first responders and victims' families.
More than 120 people died. About 170 are still missing. The president has made a new threat in his on-again, off-again trade fight with Canada. He's told Prime Minister Carney he'll impose a 35% tariff on imports if they don't make a deal before August 1st. Still, Goldie Hyder at the Canadian Business Council says his country would probably not retaliate.
I think we have to be very careful to say to one country, tariffs are really bad, and then put them on your own citizens. So I would expect that to be a last resort. The strategy that seems to be pursuing is one of there will be no tariffs at the other end because Canada has a special case to make.
Police in Baltimore believe it was a bad batch of drugs that sent more than 24 people to the hospital. CBS News Baltimore's Janae Reese.
Officials have not confirmed what they exactly overdosed on, but people at the scene told WJZ it was called New Jack City, a substance allegedly laced with Freon or antifreeze, which is something that can poison people.
A surprise from Justin Bieber.
Never said love was easy.
He dropped his 7th studio album, Swag, at midnight. It features 21 songs. Many are personal. Love Was Easy, an apparent ode to his wife, Hailey Bieber. A collab with rapper Lil B is a tribute to their 10-month-old son, Jack Blues. Another therapy session is, well, exactly that.
You know, I have had to go through a lot of my struggles as a human, as all of us do, really publicly. And so people are always asking if I'm okay.
This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. We offer auto, home, and commercial auto insurance, plus a variety of business insurance options. Visit Progressive.com today.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has greenlighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Pro USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-880-5155. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Pro USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-880-5155. 800-880-5155. That's 800-880-5155.
WICC 695.9, Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Connecticut is receiving over $8 million from new opiate settlements. The money is Connecticut's share of a $720 million settlement between a coalition of states and 8 generic makers of opiates and related products.
We still have other manufacturers and people who are dispensing pills and opioids that we have to deal with and go after and hold them accountable. We've got to push this money out there to treatment and prevention and addiction science and make sure this money gets spent well. and effectively.
Attorney General William Tong says the companies in this settlement have been part of an overall problem that continues to kill thousands of people across the country. Yale University has been deemed as an undesirable organization by Russia. The move essentially serves as a blacklist and bans any Yale-related activities in Russia. The country cites efforts by a Russian opposition leader who founded the Anti-Corruption Foundation at Yale and says its graduates are extremists. Yale indicates that it has learned of the news reports from Russia on the matter, but has not received any official notification. DraftKings is agreeing to return $3 million to 7,000 consumers in Connecticut over marketing tactics. The gambling company has agreed to the settlement over allegations that it may have broken state gaming laws with its advertising and marketing practices. The payout will go to consumers who participated in bonus offers that promised either a deposit match or a bonus. Affected customers will be alerted by DraftKings to the settlement in the next 60 days. Stratford police are trying to locate anyone who may have known the victim who died on a July 1st crash on Ferry Boulevard. Police say they've not been able to locate any relatives of 75-year-old Stephen Farrick of Bridgeport. They say Farrick only had a flip-style phone with no contacts inside, and the only recent incoming calls were spam. Anyone who may have known Farrick is asked to contact Stratford police. For the Voice of Connecticut, WICC, I'm John Kamal.
And John, brought to you this time round by Courtesy Carpet Flooring Design Center. Hey, now's the time for a fresh new look for your home. Save on top flooring brands at Courtesy Carpet. No big box gimmicks, just fair, honest prices. Check them out. Courtesy Carpet, Route 111 in Monroe.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Looks like all clear southbound on the Connecticut Turnpike now in Westport. Earlier multi-car crash has been cleared, so we're back to 3 lanes again southbound. Good news. Northbound on the Turnpike, very heavy approaching West Haven from the mall in Milford. That is because of emergency DOT work happening northbound. And delays southbound in Milford around 54 as you approach the Sikorsky Bridge. That is due to a car fire. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Any early clouds give way to sun by late morning and midday. It'll be a brighter afternoon, very warm with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog moving in overnight. Partly cloudy and mild with low near 70. Partly sunny and warm Saturday with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Hey, Joe, what happened to your teeth? They look amazing.
Oh, you know, years of root canals, crowns, gum treatments. I got tired of it all. So I went to Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. They removed my bad teeth and gave me permanent new ones. Same day.
Wait, you walked out with new teeth?
Yep, it's called All for One. They place 4 implants and attach a full set of connected teeth. It's not 4 teeth, it's a full smile. I feel like a new man.
Call Columbia Implant Center at 860-730-6020. All for One. One day, one life-changing smile.
Who should you trust when it comes to your biggest investment? Someone local who's invested in the community and you. I'm Jonathan Carbuty with Carbuty Real Estate, and we're a family-owned business and have been serving the area since 1986. At Carbuty Real Estate, whether you need a cash offer or a more traditional listing, we're always the right place for you. Call me, Jonathan Carbuty, at 203-980-6886.
Sell your home smoothly when you call Carbuty. Go to CarbutyRealEstate.com.
This is where Fairfield starts the day. Melissa in the Morning on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
Hey there, it's Paula for Melissa this morning. We'll get back to open phones momentarily. Want to add one note there. John's News at top of the hour also brought to you by Brown Roofing. Brown Roofing is Fairfield County's premier roofing, replacement, repair, and gutter contractor. Contact Brown Roofing today. BrownRoofing600.com. Brown won't let you down, and neither will we. We'll get back to open phones a little bit later in the hour to wrap up with what's ever on your mind at 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. But I get to talk to one of my favorite guests. We talk often, Marianne Gardner, Director of Training and Community Engagement, working for the fine folks at the Bridgeport Rescue Mission. Hey, Marianne, how are you?
Good morning, Paul. I've been listening to you for the last couple of days, and it's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Well, thank you. I haven't inflicted any damage on you mentally. You're still okay after listening to me for 2 days. Everything good?
No, You're doing a great job. You really are.
Well, thank you. And you're here to tell us about a big fundraiser, I see, for the SAGE Clinic located at the Rescue Mission. So give us details on this, Marianne, please.
Yes, this is very exciting. And we hope and pray we have really good weather for this. So SAGE Clinic is located in Bridgeport Rescue Mission. On our first floor, it's the health care that we provide.
Yep.
And they are hosting their second annual Rescuing Lives fundraising event. Now, Paul, this is going to take place on Thursday, July 24th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Penfield Pavilion in Fairfield Beach in Fairfield, Connecticut. Have you ever been there?
No, I have not. I confess I have not. No.
No, I haven't been there myself, but I hear it is absolutely beautiful.
Yep.
So, Paul, did you know that really, this is a little alarming, that only 5% of people in Connecticut are uninsured in Bridgeport for health care, but that number is triple really in Bridgeport.
Wow.
So, all people really should have access to basic health care. And SAGE is able to make this possible all free of charge.
Wow.
Yeah. So how is that possible, one might ask? Well, I have to tell you that SAGE partners with major Connecticut universities, Fairfield University, Yale, and University of Bridgeport, and they utilize their graduate and undergraduate interns to provide these critical services.
Wow.
So anybody attending this, Rescuing Lives is going to feature live music by North Country Band. They're going to have food, live auctions, an open bar, and it's really going to be a lot of fun, Paul.
Wow, cool. Thursday, so 2 weeks from yesterday, Thursday the 24th, 6 to 10, Penfield Pavilion, Fairfield Beach in beautiful Fairfield. Now, the proceeds from this, Marianne, how's that work?
So that event is really going to be helping SAGE Healthcare provide medical and behavioral health services as well as case management services to those in immediate need for treatment, for accurate and acute mental health crises, or for simply needing life coaching support and more. All services are free, regardless of insurance or legal status. So this is a worthy cause, and we hope people will come out and celebrate and enjoy the night, the evening, but at the same time, they will be making a wonderful contribution because, after all, our health is our wealth.
Absolutely. So to buy tickets, we can go to, I see here, givebutter.com. That's exactly how it sounds, folks. GIVE butter.com /rescue 2025. Givebutter.com rescue 2025 / there. So again, Marianne, give us the particulars, where and when, 2 weeks from yesterday. Tell us about it again.
So yes, again, so it's July 24th on a Thursday evening from 6 to 10 p.m. at the Penfield Pavilion in Fairfield Beach. And we hope people will come out and support this great event because this is going to help people that are uninsured or if they're having any kind of health issues, they can just make walk-ins, call by appointment. So I'm going to give you that number, which is 203-916-0862. And we hope they will purchase a ticket so that they can help sponsor people that really could use some quality health care.
Okay, so once again, the number for ticket purchases, 203-916-0862, 203-916-0862 for the big celebration coming up Thursday, the 24th, 6 to 10, Penfield Pavilion at Fairfield Beach in the Fairfield to benefit the SAGE Clinic located at the Bridgeport Rescue Mission. Tickets, givebutter.com /rescue 2025. And of course, Marianne, we can't let you go without asking you to tell folks if in general they wanting more information on the rescue mission and to donate to the rescue mission, how do they do that?
Yeah, so our phone number here is 333-4087, or they can go on bridgeportrescuemission.org. And we are located, Paul, at 725 Park Avenue in Bridgeport. And I also want to say that we've started a new training and community engagement department, and we are welcoming people from the outside that would like to learn more about mental health, addiction, homelessness, executive function skills, anger management, you name it, we teach it. So if they are very interested in any of those, We open them up to the public, and they can contact me at that number, 333-4087, and I'd be happy to give them more information about that.
All right, Marianne Gardner, Director of Training and Community Engagement at the Bridgeport Rescue Mission. Marianne, always good to chat with you. Have a happy weekend. We appreciate the time.
Thank you, Paul. So good to speak with you.
Thank you, Marianne. Be good. Marianne Gardner there, Director of Training and Community Engagement at the Bridgeport Rescue Mission. Again, the regular rescue mission website, bridgeportrescuemission.org. Of course, we know that site well. But again, the info for the fundraiser coming up, their second annual Rescuing Lives fundraiser event coming up just about 2 weeks. 2 weeks from yesterday, Thursday the 24th, 6 to 10 p.m., Penfield Pavilion, Fairfield Beach in Fairfield. For more information on SAGE or tickets, 203-916-0682, 203-916-0682. Or if you want to buy tickets, givebutter.com, givebutter.com/rescue 2025. Open phones the rest of the way. Traffic and weather together on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Earlier multi-car crash in Westport southbound at exit 17 Saugatuck has been cleared, but we still have some delays behind there coming from Fairfield into Westport. Northbound delays approaching Norwalk too around exit 16. Northbound delays in West Haven. That's on the turnpike from Milford in the mall area. That is due to emergency DOT work around exit 43. And we have a car fire reported southbound on the Parkway as you approach the Sikorsky Bridge. Right lane is blocked in the ramp from the Milford connector too, heading into the Sikorsky. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Cloudy skies this morning, but the sun will shine by midday and during the afternoon. It'll be a warm day with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog developing later this evening. Partly cloudy and warm overnight with a low near 70. Saturday, partly sunny and warm with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Your schedule may change in the summer, but WICC still has all the latest local news and our full lineup of talk you need every day. Melissa in the Morning, The Lisa Wexler Show, The Download, and Connecticut Today with Paul Pacelli. Plus live local news updates at the top and bottom of the hour, along with traffic and weather. We're live and local and here for you every day on the voice of Connecticut, WICC 600 and 95.9. It's time for the Market Scoreboard Report with Ron and Sana. Now on WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut.
After the S&P and NASDAQ hit new all-time highs yesterday, we're pulling back this morning as stock index futures are down across the board. President Trump late last night announcing possible 35% tariffs on some Canadian goods in the middle of negotiations that are ongoing with Canada, shaking up markets once again. European markets are down as well. Asia was mixed in overnight trade. Yields are going up this morning as players are selling U.S. Treasuries. The yield on the 10-year note, 4.39%. Dollar moving up. Oil, despite the fact that OPEC and Saudi Arabia specifically is overproducing at the moment, up 59 cents despite that at 67.16 a barrel. The safe haven trade again in gold this morning, up $30 to 33.55 the ounce. All eyes on Washington to get further details on this new trade spat with Canada. No reason given for the levy that's being imposed or will be imposed on August 1st on Canadian goods. A lot of confusion around tariffs and trade once again.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Start your day right. Melissa in the morning on the voice of Connecticut, WICC 600 and 95.9.
Wow, back to grammar school with this for me. Getting old. 20333. Well, no, actually, yeah, early grammar school. 20333. 1960. 333-9422. 333-WICC. Terry in Bridgeport's here. Terry, good to hear from you. How are you? What's going on where you are?
Good, Paul. First of all, my doctor gave me a measles update over 15 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
And I had all my shots.
Yeah.
I was born in 57.
Yeah, I'm a little younger than you, so that's why my doctor wants me to get she wants me to get a test first before she gives me the booster. Yeah.
Yeah. And people are allowed to have license plates from another state.
Yeah.
If they can show they have a dual residence.
Yep.
Which means 6 months, for instance, in Vermont, 6 months here. So they better be careful.
Well, they said that, Terry, they go through it. In other words, if they are scanning an out-of-state plate, it then goes through a process. And the story mentioned that they look at what address they have. They consult the DMV. I think they look at the tax department to see. So they don't just scan the plate and automatically say, well, you're a scofflaw, but they have to start somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
All right, Terry.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day, Paul.
Terry, good to hear from you. Thank you. Terry there in Bridgeport. Yeah. And we're talking about, in case you're just joining us, where have you been? No, we're talking about this story here. Big story by a friend of the afternoon show here, Brian Lockhart. Bridgeport's crackdown on out-of-state registered cars fines $5,000 in the first month. And the city went ahead and hired this company out of the town of Berlin up the road there. Fisher Investigations is the name of the company, and they do what a lot of other companies do. When cities get backlogged with a lot of anticipated car taxes that aren't coming in, they hire out of market usually, or out of the metro companies to say, hey, go and scan these cars, get these license plates, and remember, this is not a privacy issue. If you're outdoors and you're using a public thoroughfare and public byways and highways, you have no right to privacy. You don't. So the company began its work about a month ago. So in just 1 month, they were able, it says here, according to the Post story, to find 5,000 cars with out-of-state plates. Now, does that mean they're all tax cheats? No. But they do take this now, apparently, and go through a process. Oh, here's the quote from a Bridgeport city official. They, meaning the company here, specialize in a process for having staff drive around the city with scanners which pick up license plates. A lot of people use plate scanners. Now, in fact, there are cities and towns that have permanent plate scanners mounted, and they say it's been very successful at finding stolen cars, cars with expired registrations, people with criminal warrants. Now, of course, the ACLU and a lot of the left-wing crowd wants these scanners stopped, but I don't think they have a legal right to stand on here. Once an out-of-state plate has been seen in Bridgeport, the company then matches the license plates with other databases. Home ownership, they check. The State Department of Motor Vehicles, they check. And according to this Bridgeport official, this check can take months to determine if the owner of the car is a Bridgeport resident. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Look, I know people growing up that I knew people that registered cars in other states up north, New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine. And like an innocent kid, I used to ask, hey, why does his license plate say New Hampshire on it? And then I got some sort of, well, he goes up there a lot. What do you mean goes up there? Well, they didn't want to say tax scofflaw to an 8-year-old kid, but whatever. I'm not saying everybody with an out-of-state plate is a tax scofflaw. I'm not saying that, but I'm also not saying everybody who puts one of those shields on their license plate is trying to evade a toll collection, but we all know we're not that dumb. Bob in Trumbull's here. Bob, good morning. How are you?
Okay, Reverend Paul.
Yes, sir.
Well, two questions.
Yeah.
One is, where'd you end up on the talkers list?
Oh, I'm number 437. Yeah, I'm way down on that list. The talkers, Bob is referring to the Hot 100, the top 100 talk show hosts in the country. Oddly enough, I've not made it yet, but there is time, Bob. There is time.
437?
437 or 455, something like that. Yeah.
That ain't bad out of the 1,000.
No, I'm just, I'm not. That's not serious. I'm just joking here. Whatever.
Oh.
Yeah.
You are joking.
I am
okay.
joking.
I was being serious.
No. Those guys and gals are way better than me. Way better.
All right. Well, so you weren't 437.
No, I was, in my mind, I was on that list. I'm not actually, though.
Okay.
Kidding.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Operating a business in Connecticut.
Yeah.
It's not just the taxes.
Yeah.
It's the workers' comp insurance.
Yeah.
The workers' comp people here in Connecticut are so easy to scam. I had 4 people collecting workers' comp, and I knew it was all a scam. We called the state people. They.
And did you raise whomever you were working for at the time? Did you tell them? Did you call the state and say, "Hey, something's weird here"? What'd they say? What'd they say?
Oh, they wouldn't do anything. They said, "Oh, well, we approved it." We had one guy doing side jobs, roofing, fell off the roof, came in and said he got hurt. We had multiple of those, and when one does it, the other ones say, "Oh yeah, that's good. I can take months off." Then you got the other taxes, the what's
that 0.5% family and medical leave, all that stuff.
That comes out of the employee.
Yeah.
But the answer is, okay, the employee can take a month off, and we got to deal with it.
Yeah.
We got to bring them back. And what do we do for that month?
No, I get it.
Have people work overtime, or replace them and then lay the other guy off when the other guy decides he's coming back.
Yeah, and Bob, I do have to run, but thank you for the call. No, Bob, I don't doubt it. And Bob deals with these things, and if you haven't heard him on the show before, and he sees what goes on. And again, to Bob's point, I have the utmost respect for people who actually say, I'm going to start a business and have to deal with all this. Not for me. Traffic and weather together right here, WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
both north and southbound in Milford, right around the Milford connector on the Parkway, north and southbound. We're dealing with two separate issues. So in both directions on the Parkway, also into the Milford connector, it is very heavy ride this morning as you travel through that whole area. Looks like two separate car fires in that whole area. On the Connecticut Turnpike northbound, left lane is out in West Haven because of road work ongoing. Southbound it's slow in Fairfield. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Any early clouds give way to sun by late morning and midday. It'll be a brighter afternoon, very warm with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog moving in overnight. Partly cloudy and mild with low near 70. Partly sunny and warm Saturday with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Flaming Hot Sevens and Scorching Hot Sevens scratch tickets from the Connecticut Lottery have top prizes of $50,000 and $100,000. With lucky number 7, it may be your chance to get on a hot streak. Play Flaming Hot Sevens and Scorching Hot Sevens today. Overall odds by game: Flaming Hot Sevens 1 in 3.71, Scorching Hot Sevens 1 in 3.59. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling helpline: call 888-789-7777.
Do you have questions about real estate? Learn the secrets of real estate investing and get your questions answered during the Real Estate Show with Pat Civitella. Listen Sunday mornings from 9 to 10 for expert information about real estate investing, downsizing, and improvements before selling. Pat will help turn your real estate dreams into reality. Tune in and call The Real Estate Show with Pat Civitella. Sunday mornings from 9 to 10, right here on WICC 600 and 95.9.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
This is WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut.
CBS News Brief. President Trump will be in Texas today. He'll be looking at the after effects of deadly flooding there. State Representative Josie Garcia says the debris has really piled up.
It's like a cement structure, so we need pickaxes, hatchets, chainsaws. We've even been using machetes.
There were clashes yesterday between protesters and ICE agents who were raiding a huge cannabis farm in Southern California. CBS News Los Angeles reporter Lauren Posen was in Camarillo.
This farm, if you're not aware, is one of the largest licensed cannabis farms in the state of California, with over 5 million square feet of growing space, and protesters say the people detained are hardworking individuals.
At the Phoenix airport, temperatures were breaking records and airlines are watching over their employees. Here's CBS's Chris Van Cleve.
For workers that are on the ramps at the airport, for the airlines, it requires a lot of thought about how you keep your operation moving and your people safe.
CBS News Brief. I'm Christopher Cruz.
WICC 695.9, Connecticut Lottery Voice of Connecticut Local News Update.
Connecticut is receiving over $8 million from new opiate settlements. The money is Connecticut's share of a $720 million settlement between a coalition of states and 8 generic makers of opiates and related products.
We still have other manufacturers and people who are dispensing pills and opioids that we have to deal with and go after and hold them accountable. We've got to push this money out there to treatment and prevention and addiction science and make sure this money gets spent well and effectively.
Attorney General William Tong says the companies in this settlement have been part of an overall problem that continues to kill thousands of people across the country. The Mental Health Parity Bill was signed into law yesterday. The bill received unanimous approval in the State House of Representatives back in May, ensuring mental health care access for all residents. The new law is aimed at holding insurance companies accountable and making sure that they provide the same coverage for mental health services as they do for medical or surgical conditions. At the signing ceremony, attended by News 8, State Senator Matthew Lesser explained the changes.
There were a couple of flaws in that law we wrote in 2019. One, there were no penalties. Insurance companies were supposed to do it, but there were no fines if they didn't.
Governor Ned Lamont also shared his enthusiasm with the crowd.
We're going to make sure that there is mental health parity. Physical health, mental health, they are one and the same. They are one and the same.
Yale University has been deemed as an undesirable organization by Russia. The move essentially serves as a blacklist and bans any Yale-related activities in Russia. The country cites efforts by a Russian opposition leader who founded the Anti-Corruption Foundation at Yale and says its graduates are extremists. Yale indicates that it has learned of the news reports from Russia on the matter, but has not received any official notification. DraftKings is agreeing to return $3 million to 7,000 consumers in Connecticut over marketing tactics. The gambling company has agreed to the settlement over allegations that it may have broken state gaming laws with its advertising and marketing practices. The payout will go to consumers who participated in bonus offers that promised either a deposit match or a bonus. Affected customers will be alerted by DraftKings to the settlement in the next 60 days. One of the jurors in the murder trial of Raoul Valley spoke to the media about how the jury came to the controversial not guilty verdict. In a conversation with Channel 3, Jim Stolman, who read the verdict, said that the prosecution did not make a compelling enough case for the murder charge.
They just didn't have enough to prove the case. There was so much inconsistencies and contradictions. Not everyone will be happy with the conclusion. We weren't happy that we couldn't come on the final counts. But I think we did everything we could have to get as far as we did.
The jury remained deadlocked on several other charges, including reckless assault and reckless manslaughter. The judge ordered a mistrial, and prosecutors may still refile those charges. Dozens of inmates at the Bridgeport Correctional Center were displaced after a pipe became clogged and caused flooding. The maintenance staff were not immediately able to clear the clog on Wednesday night, which led to the decision to move the inmates in the area into a gymnasium. A contractor was brought in to clear the blocked pipe. The 47 inmates spent the night on cots in the gym and were expected to be back in their cells last night once cleaning and disinfecting was complete. Stratford police are trying to locate anyone who may have known the victim who died on a July 1st crash on Ferry Boulevard. Police say they've not been able to locate any relatives of 75-year-old Stephen Farrick of Bridgeport. They say Farrick only had a flip-style phone with no contacts inside, and the only recent incoming calls were spam. Anyone who may have known Farrick is asked to contact Stratford Police. For the Voice of Connecticut WICC, I'm John Kamal.
Right, you are John. John this time round, brought to you by the folks at Courtesy Carpet Flooring Design Center. Hey, now's the time for a fresh new look for your home. Save on top flooring brands at Courtesy Carpet. No big box gimmicks, just fair, honest prices. Check them out, Courtesy Carpet. They're at Route 111 in Monroe.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now traffic.
Both north and southbound in Milford, right around the Milford connector on the Parkway, north and southbound, we're dealing with two separate issues. So in both directions on the Parkway, also into the Milford connector, it is very heavy ride this morning as you travel through that whole area. Looks like two separate car fires in that whole area. On the Connecticut Turnpike northbound, left lane is out in West Haven because of road work ongoing. Southbound it's slow in Fairfield. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Cloudy skies this morning, but the sun will shine by midday and during the afternoon. It'll be a warm day with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog developing later this evening. Partly cloudy and warm overnight with a low near 70. Saturday, partly sunny and warm with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorik on WICC.
Selling your home is a numbers game. The more potential buyers who see it, the greater the opportunity to sell. And when your home is listed on Smart MLS, more than 21,000 realtors see it, and so do all their buyers. Suddenly, the number of people looking at your home starts to grow by a lot. More realtors sharing your listing, more people seeing your home, more offers coming in, and maybe even more cash in your pocket. Smart move, right? Ask your realtor. Is my house on Smart MLS? Smart MLS, the smart way to sell your home.
Plunge into the vibrant unknown this summer at the Maritime Aquarium. Immerse yourself in wonder and let the joy of discovery color your memories, even as the sun sets on another great day. With a range of experiences that are sure to inspire guests of any age, your visit isn't just an adventure. It's a front row seat to the brilliant show of life on Earth. Visit maritimeaquarium.org to choose your summer adventure today.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
In the car, at home, or at work, it's always free to listen to WICC 695.9, the voice of Connecticut, and Melissa in the Morning.
This is not Melissa. It's Paul Baselli here from the afternoon show. Sitting in, though, happily, as I get to do a few weeks a year on the Melissa in the Morning program. So if I screwed it up, I'm sorry. Call up Melissa when she gets back on Monday and say, don't ever let him do that again. I'm kidding. I think I pulled this off again. Sunny, warm today, about 85. Partly cloudy tonight, little fog around there. Miles, says Paul Piorik, around 70. Partly sunny tomorrow. Once again, warm on your Saturday, 85. And Sunday, wrapping up the weekend, some afternoon sun. After some morning clouds, I guess. A little on the muggy side with a high around 80 or so. All right? And right now, I'll look out the official WICC weather window and tell you that it's 74 degrees. 74 degrees. 203-333-9422. 333-WICC. Dave in Meriden with us. Hello, Dave. Good morning. How are you?
Good, Paul. Nice hearing you on the radio this morning, but the bad news is I won't be able to listen to you this afternoon.
Well, you know, you get an hour of my best of at 5, but Dave, when I'm on the radio, go play more golf. Go out in the golf course, Dave. Do that for me.
There you go. I think I'll do that, or I'll lounge around in the pool.
Yeah, look at that. Dave's got a rough life. Nice guy. The pool. Now, at least if you golf this weekend, you won't be playing like you did a couple of weeks ago. Would you play 9 holes when it was like 100 degrees or something?
Oh, God, yeah, it was terrible out there.
What are you, nuts?
The cart, right? Well, I was the only one out there, so I must have been nuts.
So how'd you shoot that day? What'd you shoot for 9? 35?
Like a 49.
That's not bad. Wow.
No, that's good for a hacker. You know, what the heck?
What's your best?
Not going to make a living at it.
What's your best 9 holes you ever shot?
Oh, I think probably in the low 40s, but that was a fluke. That doesn't happen too often.
Boy, I tell you, and I've hacked around a little bit, Dave. Golf is one of those things where when you get out there, you realize how good, even guys you never heard of, you realize how good those guys that have PGA cards really are. I mean, they're just unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. It's a very humbling sport.
Yeah. Well, what did Mark Twain say about golf? You heard about that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Golf
Something
is
about how to ruin a good walk.
Golf is a good walk ruined.
Yep, there you go.
Hi, Dave.
I play Army golf. I play Army golf many times. Left, right.
Oh, I like that. I never heard that. All right, Dave. Have a good weekend, my friend.
Take care, buddy.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Yeah, if for any of us who's ever, and I've only tried to play a couple of holes, but even if you go to a pitch and putt or you go to a driving range, you know what? I'm not bad off the tee with a driver, but irons, forget it. Putting, But something that's lost on people, unless you actually go and watch something like, for example, The Travelers, and you actually go and sit around the green or stand around the tee box and watch how these guys, I mean, these PGA guys, and for that matter, the women on the LPGA, the Seniors Tour, it is amazing how good these people are. And I don't care how good the coverage is on television, and it's really good with the electronic tracking and the boom cameras and the drones they use now. But you got to stand there and watch how good these people are. There's a reason there's only, what are there, 200 and something PGA cards? And other than that, you got to play on a satellite tour and hope to get in and qualify for an event. It is, you can either do it or you can't. It's like one of the great drummers of all time, Ginger Baker, used to say about drumming, you can either keep time or you can't. That's the big dividing line with drummers, and that's the big dividing line with golfers. And tennis is another thing. If you get the chance, and I know it's not easy to go see Wimbledon, even the U.S. Open and Queens coming up in a few weeks, that's really expensive. But I used to cover what was known as the Pilot Pen Tournament in New Haven. A lot of people from Fairfield County used to head up 95 and go to that tournament. I covered it when it was a small tournament, then when it became the Volvo International and the Connecticut Classic, whatever it was. And, I mean, I knew tennis. I'd played around a little bit. I'd watched hours and hours and hours on television, especially back in the late 70s and early 80s when Borg and McEnroe and Connors and Gerolaitis and Michael Chang and all those guys. But you really don't. And for you folks who play tennis, you know what I'm talking about. Not talking deck tennis, not talking pickleball. You people that actually play tennis at some sort of a decent level, you know how good these men and women you see play on Saturdays and Sundays during the week are. And I remember going to one match at what used to be the Connecticut Tennis Center, which is now, what do they call that place? The Westville Music Bowl, I think it is. Outdoor music venue. And I remember specifically who it was. It was, I think he's retired now, or he's on the Seniors Tour. This guy, Marc Rosset of France. I used to call him Big Bird. Tall, lanky guy, and he had a big crop of curly blonde hair. So he sets up, and there was a speed reading on the serves, and he's whacking off serves there, 105, 110, 112 miles an hour. And there's a player diagonally away in the back court of the other side just returning the serve. I'm like, these people this is another level. That's why athletes get paid what they get paid, whether it's a team sport or an individual sport, because they are the best of the best of the best. Traffic and weather together right here on WICC.
WICC Smart MLS Right Now Traffic.
Southbound on the Parkway, it looks like they've cleared that earlier car fire coming from 54 heading into the Sikorsky Bridge, but we still have big-time delays as that car fire has been cleared. And northbound approaching the Milford Connector, we're still seeing it slow getting off the Parkway to the connector. Northbound in West Haven, dealing with some volume 43 DOT work ongoing. Left lane is out. Fairfield County traffic every 10 minutes on WICC.
Any early clouds give way to sun by late morning and midday. It'll be a brighter afternoon, very warm with a high in the mid-80s and a breeze out of the southeast. Patchy fog moving in overnight. Partly cloudy and mild with low near 70. Partly sunny and warm Saturday with a high in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Paul Piorek on WICC.
Are the taxes on your financial savings cutting into your retirement? Do you truly understand the taxes on your IRAs and 401ks? Would you like a future where your taxes are minimized and investments are sound? If you're nearing or in retirement, have at least a $250,000 portfolio, Bridgelight Financial Advisors can help. Call for a complimentary consultation. They'll show you real tax savings on your savings. 203-795-7080. 203-795-7080. Bridgelight Financial Advisors, your retirement tax strategy specialists.
Bumped your bumper? Kissed a curb? With Sono Collision, your car will be back to top notch in no time. Because we don't just repair, we care. Visit sonocollision.com. Your car will thank you.
For 135 years, Spectre Furniture on Main Street, Ansonia, has been more than a store. They've been a tradition. Crafted with care and built to last, Spectre's American-made furniture and mattresses blend timeless quality with modern comfort. From generation to generation, Spectre's has furnished homes with warmth and style. Come celebrate 135 years of excellence. Visit Spectre Furniture in Ansonia today, where quality stands the test of time. Main Street, Ansonia. SpectreFurniture.com.
Introducing Cakes by Sonia, a scratch-made bakery in Stratford. Let owner and head baker Sonia turn your vision into a delicious, beautiful custom cake. Specializing in wedding, birthday, and anniversary cakes, a Cake by Sonia is like no other. Follow Cakes by Sonia on Instagram or come into the bakery at 2067 Barnum Ave in Stratford. For an amazing cake for your next event, it's Cakes by Sonia. 203-276-8880.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
You're listening to WICC 600 and 95.9, the voice of Connecticut, broadcasting from the Town Fair Tire Studios. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire.
Back to the news and talk. Thanks to Smart MLS. Smart sellers ask, is my home on Smart MLS? The voice of Connecticut, WICC 695.9. It's Melissa in the morning.
Hey, it's Paul for Melissa this morning. She's back on Monday. Hopefully I didn't do too much damage here. 203-333-9422. 333-WICC. Yeah, I gave it a quick look up here. So if you're watching Wimbledon this weekend, right? It's one of the big events. People and the Americans are doing well. U.S. tennis is bouncing back a little bit. Keep in mind, this is according to an AI readout here on Google. The average speed of a first serve in pro tennis is around 120 miles an hour for men and around 105 miles an hour for women. And we talk about guys throwing in the upper 90s in Major League Baseball. Well, a tennis serve is coming at these players who are the best of the best in the world at 120 miles an hour for the guys and 105 miles an hour for the women. There have been men who've hit 150 miles an hour. 150. There have been women who have hit 120 miles an hour. And they do this for 2, 3, 4 hours. Mind-boggling. Let's talk about some political numbers here. It was revealed a couple of weeks ago, I think. Yeah, right after the end of June, beginning of the third quarter, that Aaron Stewart, the soon-to-be exiting Republican mayor of a Democratic city in New Britain, had raised $255,000 with a goal of raising $350,000 to qualify for a gubernatorial run, because then she would get matching funds. So one of the other declared candidates in the race has unveiled numbers as well. This posted today in the Westport Patch. Westport first select woman, Jen Tooker, announcing a 6-figure fundraising haul. Jen Tooker announcing yesterday, her campaign raised more than $100,000 in less than 4 months since announcing that she was running for governor. The filing deadline came on Thursday, yesterday, for the second quarter. So she raised $66,000 in the first quarter. And now she has raised more than $100,000. So there you go. And again, the way this works is, for those of you who may have heard of this Citizens Election Fund in the state funds this with unclaimed assets, which I find fascinating. That there are that many unclaimed assets out there. But again, people pass away with no heirs. Probate does what it can do. Just ask our own Lisa Wexler about probate. But probate courts do what they can do. And if you can't find a next of kin or an heir, I guess the state takes whatever it may be, property, physical property, land, bank accounts, and they say that there is enough of that every 2 or 4 years to finance money that allows regular folk to run for election, for, state-level races all the way up to governor. But again, you have to raise a certain amount of money on your own by X date in certain levels of contributions to qualify for that money. So I think you need $350,000, which is the mark that Aaron Stewart is targeting from X amount of donors to qualify to convince the state that you have enough support where the state should hand over. I think now for governor this year, it's 14 or 15 or $16 million. A couple of years ago, it was 6 or 7 or 8 million, which was ridiculously low to run a statewide campaign. So there you go. 203-333-9422, 333-WICC. And, there are a lot of people that don't like that, a lot of traditionalists. No, I like that. I like the fact that, you can qualify for matching funds that way if you have a certain amount of smallish donations. And the fact that it's not just for the governor's office, a lot of state house and state representative and state senate members, that's the way they're elected. So, if you ever think in your city or town, Democrat, Republican, third party or whatever, if you ever sit there and say, gosh, I wish I could run, I think I would do a better job than him or her or that Democrat or that Republican, you technically can give it a shot. You got to go online and Google and read the background of the Connecticut Citizens Election Program or Citizens Election Fund. I forgot what the actual acronym is. And for a state Senate race, now remember, there's only 36 state Senate members, and you're representing about 100,000 people. If you qualify, you get $85,000, I think, 85 or 90 grand, something like that. And if your goal is to become one of the 151 members of the state house, it's smaller because the house districts are smaller. I'm not sure how much that is, 30 or 40 grand or something like that. I think that's a fabulous idea, as long as you have the parameters set up where you can't really, job the system, as it were. You've got to show some amount of some broadening of a base that, hey, I can raise this money. And usually the way candidates do that is they have fundraisers. They have wine and cheese things. They have dinners. They make appearances. They go to work the DTCs or the RTCs, the Republican or Democratic town committees. So that's good. So, will Aaron Stewart hit the mark she wants? I don't know. Will Jen Tooker hit the mark she wants? Will Ryan Fazio get in the race and hit the mark that he would want? Don't know. Because remember, Ned Lamont, last time around against Bob Stefanowski, Ned Lamont spent $24 million of his own money because he has it. Well, that's not fair. Yes, it is. You can self-finance. So Mr. Lamont and Mr. Stefanowski twice, and before Mr. Stefanowski, Mr. Foley. A lot of Fairfield County money spent on elections. Producer Eric, thank you. It's been fun for 2 days. Melissa back Monday. And traffic guy Norm, Paul Bjork in the Weather Center, John Kamal in the newsroom. This has been fun. Have a happy weekend. Don't drink and drive. 2 hands on the wheel. Chew good, as Mom used to say.
Are you over 50 and constantly feeling tired, bloated, or just a little off? Don't ignore it. Those could be signs that your liver is crying for help. As we age, our liver, which is essential for metabolism, digestion, immunity, and detoxification, needs extra support and protection. If neglected, it can leave you feeling sluggish and constantly off your game. That's where Active Liver from New Nordic comes in. Available in easy-to-take tablets or delicious gummies, Active Liver combines powerful natural ingredients like turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract to help support healthy liver function. With Active Liver, you're giving your body an essential daily defense against toxins from alcohol, fatty foods, and sweets, helping you reclaim your energy, improve digestion, lose the bloat, and strengthen your immunity so you can look and feel your best again. Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
WICC Bridgeport, WFOX Southport, WEBE HD2 Westport, WPLR HD2 New Haven, locally owned by Connoisseur Media.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. We begin with new numbers that show an alarming rise in the number of kids with a dangerous health condition. Reporter Sabrina Cupid has the details from Atlanta.
According to the Atlanta-based CDC, an estimated 1 in 3 teens and preteens ages 12 to 17 have prediabetes.